the conversation we had yesterday, that for a lot of people, this is the true kickoff. So, yes, we're going to cover some serious stuff, some serious topics, but we also are going to talk Christmas music. And what that, my favorite Christmas music for some people would be their least favorite Christmas music. I have a wide range of music that I love, but it's funny. So my start in radio was when I was a junior in college. My start on air, when they finally trusted me with a mic, was 2017, December 25th, Christmas Day. And we had a snowstorm coming through Western New York. And I was on the board there because I had taken too many vacation days. And we had to do weather updates at the top of every hour. And there was no one there. There was no newsroom on Christmas Day. So it was Joe Beamer talking to Heather Zare from AccuWeather. And and I would like throw in little things, right? So we used to simulcast Christmas music on Christmas Day, and we would break in at the top of the hour, play, Fox News. And then I would come on and say, we have Heather Zare here. What's the storm looking like? And then I would ask like a random question, like, so Heather, we're listening to all this Christmas music. What's your favorite song? And I would just try to have fun with the segment. 2 weeks later, I'm filling in hosting. So it's, so Christmas music always has a special place because that's where my radio career started, when they started trusting me with a mic. So coming up today, we'll be talking with Daniel Turner about the choice in energy, also the climbing energy rates in Missouri. Now, this is something that's going on in New York, in New Jersey, and now it's happening in Missouri. Daniel Turner will tell us exactly what is going on and why we are seeing those increased rates. We'll also talk to Charles LIPSON. He is Professor Emeritus at the University of Chicago, and he'll be talking about the Ukraine-Russia peace talks and where we stand on that going into this Thanksgiving holiday. We're also going to be talking with Dave Murray. You just heard his forecast. You guys have a little winter weather coming in the Friday, on Black Friday, and into the weekend. It's funny. I just did my show in Buffalo, and they put me on for an extra hour. So I literally was on the air until 4 Eastern, and then had to run down here to do the show. And we have a winter storm hitting tomorrow. And, for me, the big thing is the turkey trot, which is the turkey trot is, for me, that's Thanksgiving. That's how you kick off Thanksgiving. And it's going to be 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, slushy rain, snow mix just blowing everywhere. You'll get the salt on the road, being picked up and thrown in your face. So it'll be a great kickoff to Thanksgiving. And, I always use it as an excuse to have an extra plate at the Thanksgiving table. But obviously, we'll get to all that. We'll get serious. We'll have a little fun as well. But we do have to start the show with some tragic news. And obviously, you never want to hear this, but especially the day before Thanksgiving, we have a shooting that took place in Washington, D.C., about a mile from the White House. And the latest that we know are 2 guardsmen were shot. And unfortunately, we've gotten confirmation from the governor of West Virginia. They were West Virginia guardsmen, and they both have passed from their injuries. A suspect is in custody after taking shots at National Guard members. Now, it's some people are saying steps from the White House. I saw another report a mile from the White House. The president has been briefed and is keeping tabs on this. He put on True Social. The animal that shot the 2 National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded and now in 2 separate hospitals, is also severely wounded, but regardless will pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. I, as President of the United States, and everyone associated with the office of the presidency, am with you. Again, that's President Trump. Obviously, he put that out before it was confirmed by Governor Patrick Morrisey, who tweeted, "It is with great sorrow that we can confirm both members of the West Virginia National Guard who were shot earlier today in Washington, D.C., have passed away from their injuries. These brave West Virginians lost their lives in the service of their country. We are in ongoing contact with federal officials as the investigation continues. Our entire state grieves with their families, their loved ones, and the Guard community. West Virginia will never forget their service or their sacrifice, and we will demand full accountability for this horrific act. So again, obviously not the news we want to start with, but breaking out of Washington, D.C., 2 guardsmen shot fatally in Washington about a mile from the White House. President Trump, the FBI, and the DOJ have been briefed on the shooting. And again, we'll keep tabs on that. The shooter is in custody, also is in the hospital in custody, as they have also been injured in this. So we will keep tabs on that. Again, that's awful any day of the week. And it's, truly awful. Those are 2 families that will be, be at the Thanksgiving table, and they grieving the loss of their family member. And, I'll tell you, this came across the screen about an hour ago, and it's one of those things. I was talking about this yesterday. You put yourself in the situation. There's so many people. I was talking about voting and how I think a lot of voters don't put themselves in the situation, right? They just see, oh, well, that was a shooting, an hour from where I live. And it would be different if it was a shooting in your neighborhood, or if it was, your house being robbed. I watched this, and I have not been able to stop thinking, like, what if that was my family? What if I was going to Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we're grieving, and we've lost a family member. It's heartbreaking. And as the president said, and I agree, I hope that the shooter pays the full price, and I'm quite certain that the shooter will. So we'll keep tabs on that. Like I said, the president, the FBI, and the DOJ is all keeping tabs on this and assisting in the investigation. So when we come back, we will be talking with Daniel Turner. He is the founder and executive director of Power the Future, talking about Energy Choice Act. That is an act that is being that was brought to the floor by my congressman, Nick Langworthy, and it's going after states like New York that want to get rid of gas. There was a push. There was going to be a mandate on January 1st that all new builds in New York could not have natural gas hookups, that they had to be all electric. Now, a judge has put that on pause, so that will not be happening January 1st. But that's where the idea of this Energy Choice Act, it really is targeting blue states like New York and California. Also, energy rates. This is a problem nationwide, and it is starting to be noticeable here in Missouri. We will talk to Daniel about that after this break. It is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on Thanksgiving Eve on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good afternoon. I'll tell you what, we've got an accident on 70, and this thing, it's westbound just past Florissant Road, and they've got the left lane and the left shoulder blocked. So traffic, of course, is jammed behind that. But we didn't have much volume this morning, and I don't expect too much this afternoon, at least in the city. Maybe out west where people are headed out of town a little bit early. Now, westbound 6440 does have some volume. It's just moderate at Clayton-Skinker, and then slow pockets headed for 270. Eastbound a little slow at 270. But there is some slow-moving traffic out west. Lake St. Louis Boulevard in the construction zone out through 70. 70 has a little bit of lighter traffic out there, but it is a little slow. Highway A out through Wentzville. Now, if you're headed into Illinois, really no delays at this hour. I mean, things look great through there. So no problems on the Poplar Street Bridge and on any of the other bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
He's not here to play nice. He's here to make you think. Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk.
And it is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on this Thanksgiving Eve, and we welcome the founder and executive director of Power the Future, Daniel Turner. Daniel, welcome to the show. It's been a while, my friend.
Yeah, it's great to be on with you. Thanks for having me.
Let's start in Washington, D.C., where we have the Energy Choice Act being discussed. I believe it got out of a subcommittee. Congressman Nick Langworthy, my congressman, and 26 other members of Congress have signed on and co-sponsored this bill. Daniel, tell us about the bill and why it was brought to Congress.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the larger effort to build out the infrastructure for reduced energy costs. We had 4 years of the Biden administration thwarting every pipeline, every infrastructure project, transmission lines, not to mention just drilling for oil, for gas, mining coal, et cetera. And those eventually all compounded. And we get to these crazy energy prices where we are now. It's very easy to point fingers at the current administration and say, you know, they're not doing enough to bring down prices. But this is 4 years of an administration that punished American energy, and reversing that is going to be essential. And what's good about legislation is that these are permanent fixes, right? We get a lot of ping pong from the administration. One EPA director comes in and does this, and the next EPA administrator comes in and does that. What we need are laws. What we need are legislative fixes so that if Gavin Newsom is elected in a couple of years and he brings in a bunch of wackos, they can't undo the good work that we put in place.
You know, Daniel, obviously in New York State, this plays big because it's targeting Kathy Hochul as well, who is trying to limit gas to houses. I mean, new builds were supposed to not have gas hookups starting January 1st. A judge has put a hold on that mandate. But this would kind of take that control out of some of these blue states that want to overpower the grid, it seems.
It really would, and I think that's essential. Of course, I love the 10th Amendment, and I do believe in states' rights. But I don't think anyone would look at President Trump, for example, when he goes into a city like Chicago or Los Angeles and says, you have a crazy crime problem. Your elected leaders are doing nothing. I, as president, am not going to sit by and watch you all get destroyed. It's kind of the same way a little bit when it comes to energy. We're not going to allow the blue states to sink not just their constituents, but then drag the rest of the country down with us. Kathy Hochul's to abolish or ban gas products in New York isn't going to make New York cheaper or safer. Quite frankly, it puts a lot of people in danger. And if you don't have a gas-powered generator, or you don't even have a gas stove, if you're totally dependent on electricity, what happens when you have blackouts and brownouts, right? We see that a lot in New York City when they have these terrible winters and in New York public housing, and people are using their gas stove. At least they can cook, right? The rest of the house is a disaster, but natural gas always works. So it is kind of saving blue states from themselves, which I think is a valuable thing to do.
No, like you said, I mean, this becomes law. It will protect from the next administration. But let's say the next administration, which I believe will be J.D. Vance, but we have a long time until then. But let's say the next administration is Gavin Newsom. I can't imagine him winning a national election. But what happens if a liberal like Gavin Newsom gets in the White House and takes these green initiatives and starts targeting natural gas? I mean, the things that are being suggested in New York State by the governor, Kathy Hochul, we don't have the grid and the electric powered things. They're not to the point where they can replace gas. I mean, like you mentioned in a snowstorm. I mean, is that a true danger in the future?
Oh, absolutely. And, Kathy Hochul is going to have a huge advantage because these judges have ruled some of her decisions unconstitutional, and they've saved her from herself. And so she can still claim her green bona fides, but the damage of her law was never put in place. A state where it has been put in place is a state like California. You have Governor Gavin Newsom, who has a law that by 2030, 50% of all the vehicles sold in California have to be electric vehicle. No one knows how that's going to happen, but they got 5 years to figure it out. So here's the governor who says you have to drive electric vehicles in the future. But then here's the governor who also tweets, hey, the grid is in bad shape. We ask people not to charge their electric vehicles tonight. Here's the governor, Gavin Newsom, EV mandates, don't charge your EV. Oh, and I don't manage my forests very well, so they're always burning. And now we have to evacuate. Well, what the hell am I supposed to do, Joe? Right? Like, you took away my gas-powered car. You won't let me charge my electric car. Now I'm supposed to flee, right? So what pickle does the governor put me in? And this is the sort of insanity where green policies really do put people's lives at risk.
Yeah, and you've got people that they treat this, Daniel, like a religion, right? They treat this their electric car and everything's electric, and my house is now all electric. And then you've got someone like Bill Gates who's saying, it's not as severe as we were saying, but it seems like all the people, inconvenient truth people from the Al Gore documentary, they kind of just turned a deaf ear to Bill Gates, and they continue down what I think is a very dangerous path.
Yeah, and I think Bill Gates, I don't give him any credit. I don't think he saw the light. I think he saw the opportunity. And if you're someone like Bill Gates, you don't really have epiphanies or wake up one morning and say, maybe I was wrong. I think you see the climate cult that he helped create, by the way. You see the climate cult being a huge thorn in the side to increased electricity production. And if we don't start to increase electricity, we're never going to get these data centers and this AI that everyone is talking about. And that's what Bill Gates wants. Bill Gates sees AI as the ability to rewrite the human genome. He's talked about on World Economic Forum panels about how we can use artificial intelligence to change the human genome so that maybe we're not able to eat meat. Wouldn't that be great for the environment if we could modify human genomes so that we have a meat allergy built into us by genetic code? And now that's good for the planet. So people like Bill Gates scare the crap out of me. Mm-hmm. He hasn't seen the light on climate. He has seen an opportunity, and he's going to take it.
Well, Daniel, what are your thoughts on this nuclear energy idea? Again, I have to go back to Kathy Hochul. She's suggested to put nuclear energy to replace natural gas in the future. I mean, you talk to anybody, they think, oh, it's a great idea. Not in my backyard. I mean, what's the reality and what's the dangers of something like that?
Well, why doesn't she just open up Indian Point, right? That would be the first thing to do. Governor Cuomo closed it. She has had the opportunity to reopen it. She's talked about how we're going to build a new nuclear plant. Well, you've got one. Just reopen it, reactivate it, restart it. That would seem an awful lot easier. But if she doesn't have the will to do that, this is just all promises. These are the paranoid campaign promises because she is desperate to be reelected and she knows her approval rating is absolutely in the toilet. I love nuclear power. We put hundreds of thousands of 18-year-old farm boys on nuclear-powered submarines and nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. They seem to be doing fine. We've got the world's largest nuclear reactor fleet. patrolling the ocean, and you never hear of any problems with it. So I think the fear of nuclear is totally unfounded. But you're right, it is going to be hard to get people to put those first nuclear reactors up. And Kathy Hochul has a record of shutting things down.
Daniel, here in Missouri, we have energy rates climbing through the roof. I can understand why they're going up in blue states. What is causing the energy rates in Missouri to start climbing?
Yeah, this is a huge problem, and I've talked to other great Missouri radio hosts about this specific issue, and you would think Missouri is a red state, right? Neighboring Kansas is a red state. We should have red energy policies, but what happens is you get blue cities. Kansas City is blue. St. Louis is very blue, right? Columbia is blue. Wichita, Kansas is blue. And what happens is you get these blue cities and blue mayors who then pass all this climate insanity. And climate insanity, if you pass it into law, people have to comply. So you take a city like Kansas City that says by the year 2030, half of our electricity has to come from renewables. Okay, well, now the utility has to get renewable energy from somewhere, right? They don't have enough wind and solar, so they have to go to the free market and buy it. Well, you know what? There's a solar farm in Iowa or a wind farm in Iowa, and they're like, we'll sell it to you, but here's what we're going to charge. So now what do? You increase rates, and that's what the customers have to pay. Now, the city council or the mayor still gets to say, look at us, we're being green, right? We have new renewable mandates. Mandates cost, right? Obamacare mandates cost. We saw that in the shutdown, right? Healthcare mandates cost. Anytime government mandates things, it doesn't come for free. So even a red state like Missouri can be the victim of terrible local blue state policies. And that's what happens when you elect a bunch of liberals.
Yeah, that's it's the policies. I was saying this yesterday, Daniel. A lot of voters, I feel, especially liberal voters, they don't put themselves in the situation. They go, well, voting for those policies make me feel good voting for them. But when you finally see them in practice, maybe some people will finally go, yeah, you know what, this isn't worth the cost.
Yeah, and that is the problem now, is that now it is in practice. There's a hearing in Kansas City of the local utility commission, and they are going to get reamed, and everyone is going to, stand up and wag their finger and yell at them. I understand the local residents' frustration. Their energy prices are going through the roof, and they want to charge another $15, $20 a month from every single customer. But you know what? The utility is not to blame. The utility is following the laws that the idiot mayor, the idiot city council, all these environmental groups like Climate Action Kansas City, they should be before the town hall. You explain to the people of Kansas City that you got all these mandates passed. Go to their website and they'll tell you, we've been so successful. We've had all this green energy mandates passed all across the state. Well, this is the result, right? Going green is not free. We can look at all of Europe and see how expensive to quote unquote go green is. So ultimately, we have to stop pointing fingers and be adults. But that's also the joys of being an elected Democrat. You can always pass the buck to someone else. And President Trump is the perfect foil. You can blame greedy corporations. You can blame price gouging. Blame Vladimir Putin, right? No matter what the hell happens, it's somebody else's fault.
Yeah, that seems to be the playbook for the American left. Daniel, always great catching up with you. I'll have to get you back on the Buffalo show soon, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, my friend.
Would love to be on any time, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your loved ones.
That is Daniel Turner, founder and executive director of Power the Future, talking about energy choice, climbing energy rates, and a lot of the Green New Deal baloney we're hearing from the political left. When we come back, Charles Lipson's going to join us. He's professor emeritus at the University of Chicago. He is going to talk about the Ukraine and Russia, possible Ukraine and Russia deals that have been discussed. It's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on Thanksgiving Eve on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Wow, they just cleared that accident, and it was a vehicle up on the median, westbound 70 past Florissant Road. We still have some volume in that area, but it looks like it's thinning out quickly. Most of the volume we have right now is out west as people head out of town for the holiday tomorrow. So 70 jams as you approach Highway A. 6440, that's lined up, although it's mainly Lake St. Louis Boulevard through the 70 split. Now, further into downtown, there's some moderate volume on 6440 at Hampton and at 270 in both directions. 55, a little slow there, headed for Bates, and southbound 270, moderate volume from 44 down through 21. But if you are headed into Illinois, things look great on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, if you need a family practice attorney, I'm always a little uneasy even saying that because, look, those are tough situations. That means a divorce attorney, right? But here's what I can do for you. I can help you a little bit here. I've been through this myself in the past, and it was a long time ago, but I do remember a couple of things that I can share with you. One is you're going to get through it, and it's going to seem like another lifetime ago. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be easier if you have someone on your side like Susan L. Ward, someone who has a ton of experience. I've admitted this. When I went through this a couple of decades ago, I hired a newbie. That was a bad move. Take it from me. So hire someone like Susan and her staff with a brand new office in De Pere at Manchester and 270, and they do great work here in St. Louis with an outstanding reputation. So whether it's the end of a marriage or issues related to children, they can handle anything, post-divorce modifications, etc. Susan L. Ward, the website, stlfamilylaw.com, or you can always call them. Tell them that we sent you along. 314-783-9400. The focus on family law, the emphasis on you, Susan L. Ward.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119 and take $75 off air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
With this season's drought and high temperatures, demand for new sprinkler system installs is at its peak. Even with a little rain in the forecast, now is the absolute best time to put a new system in place, setting you up for a healthier, greener lawn next year. Don't let your lawn go through another season looking the way it does today. Take control now, and you'll never have to worry about the damage heat and dry weather can cause again. Call 636-695-7800 or visit ProOutdoor.com to schedule your new system installation today.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
This is Todd Krenz with Krenz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. We work closely with professionals in healthcare, from doctors and nurses to medical sales in biotech and pharma. Our team helps you navigate complex financial decisions like retirement plans, disability insurance, consolidating old 401ks, and understanding stock options or RSUs. We make the process clear so you can focus on what you do best. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Servicing. Member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group is not a broker dealer.
The time is 3:32. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From Belleville to Bridgeton, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
And it is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on this Thanksgiving Eve. Hope everyone's having a great afternoon. If you had the day off of work, but you're still listening, thank you. We love you. Glad that you're along for the ride. Maybe you're on your way to the grocery store. I was at the grocery store earlier today. Oh, let me tell you, I am glad that I am not hosting Thanksgiving and need a last-minute item. We'll talk about that a little later in the show. Right now, we're joined by Charles Lipson. He is Professor Emeritus at the University of Chicago, writes for the Spectator magazine, Real Clear Politics, and others, and his columns are available at charleslipson.com. Charles, welcome back. Hello. Hey, Charles.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Happy Thanksgiving.
To you as well. I should tell your listeners that for years, until it was basically canceled by COVID, we had a party that I recommend to all your listeners. The day after Thanksgiving, we had a leftovers party. We invited all of our friends to bring leftovers, and we laid out a main dish or two. And boy, did people like it, because it got them out of the house and got everybody to share whatever they had left over.
And it made for a clean refrigerator by Monday.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Hey, Charles, let's for last few weeks we haven't really heard much of the Ukraine-Russia peace deal. And then, it seems in the last few days that kind of conversation has heated up. At this point, what do we know about the ongoing discussions?
What we know is not enough. But what we do know is that the American negotiator, principally Witkoff, working with the Kremlin, came up with an original plan which seemed to cover most of what Russia wanted. It didn't involve Ukraine in two ways. It would have been unacceptable. One is that Ukraine wasn't even asked what would be in this original proposal, and then there were a lot of concrete things in it that would be unacceptable to any Ukrainian government. Now what's happened is that the United States has gone back and worked with the Ukrainians. By the way, the Europeans also didn't like the potential agreement, so now they're coming back with a counteroffer. But I would suspect that the counteroffer will include things that the Russians won't accept. Basically, what we have in Ukraine right now is a frozen conflict with both sides trying to figure out who will collapse first. That is, who will run out of troops or run out of aircraft and all the rest. What Russia wants is more territory, especially in eastern Ukraine. They want to keep Crimea, which they conquered in the first invasion. They want to keep the territory in eastern Ukraine, principally the Donbass and Luhansk, that they conquered in the second invasion, and some additional territory that they conquered at the cost of some over 1 million dead and injured on the Russian side. And they want some additional territory that they haven't yet conquered. They want limits on Ukrainian rearmament, and they want a pledge that Ukraine will never be let into NATO. And those are all unacceptable to Ukraine, especially the territory that the Russians haven't already conquered.
So, Charles, how much more territory? Ukraine's I'm looking at a map right now. How much more territory is Russia asking for? And is it a continuation of where they are now? Or are there random parts of the country they'd like to have territory of?
It's a great question. What they're asking for is additional territory in the Donetsk region. And what's important about that territory is not that it's a lot of territory necessarily, but that that after you've gotten that territory, there's no obvious way to stop them from a future invasion. So one question that both sides ask in a war, when you have basically what would amount to a ceasefire, is how stable it would be. And in particular, if one side decided to break it, would the other side be in a good position to defend their position? And that's the problem that Ukraine would have. I would say that the issue of NATO joining NATO is probably out of the picture in any event, whether or not it's part of the agreement. But what's not out of the picture is whether there would be troops from other European countries, Poland, France, whatever, stationed in Ukraine to serve as a kind of tripwire in case there was a Russian invasion, because the idea would be it would be like Pearl Harbor. You would end up taking their lives, and that would require a response. The reason to do that is to deter the attack in the first place.
Now, Ukraine, they have come to terms with giving up some of the territory that has been conquered, right? Is that how we started hearing about these talks again?
Well, we don't know, but we do know that Zelensky and his government have said that there would have to be a referendum in Ukraine about giving up that territory. And, of course, who could vote in that referendum would be an interesting question. For example, would it just, I assume it would be the people only in the non-conquered areas who would vote. But, you know, the people, the Ukrainians who are living in Donetsk in particular and Luhansk, not the Crimea so much, but those are Ukrainians. They're not Russians, and they don't like being conquered by Russia. So they would be incorporated into Russia against their will under these terms. Let me just say, and this is just a guess, your listener's guess is as good as mine, but I just don't see how this works out.
That was my next question, because you start, what you first said was this is, kind of just waiting to see who runs out of what. And we hear of all these things that are peace talk, but like you said, Russia wants more territory that they haven't covered or haven't conquered. They want a promise that Ukraine will never be in NATO. And it seems like they just want to continue to go above and beyond what Ukraine is willing to give. And, Ukraine's not going to give in. So, where are we a year from now? Are we still in the same spot?
Well, that's part of what Donald Trump is threatening. He understands that the political base, he's transformed the Republican Party into a MAGA party, and he understands that his base is tired of all foreign wars. Now, the United States is not spending a lot of money and not putting troops in at all, and it did in the first years during the Biden administration, but now all the armaments that are going in from the West that come from the U.S. are being purchased by the Europeans. So it's not as if we're putting money in there. What we are doing is giving satellite information and the like. And Trump declined recently to give long-range missiles to the Ukrainians that could hit as far as Moscow. So it looks to me like the problem, by the way, on the territory, I just want to be clear, is not just that they're asking for territory that they haven't already conquered, but they're asking for territory that would give them a free path into the two largest cities in Ukraine were they to break out of the battle lines.
All continuing to happen, and Charles will obviously keep our eyes on it. Before we let you go, and I know we had you on to talk Ukraine, Russia, but you wrote a piece about the far left being the new face of the Democrat Party, and I want to ask you, this might be a redundant question, but if the face of the Democrat Party is the far left, does that mean the average liberal in Missouri, in Illinois, well, those are two different states, but in Missouri has become far left, or is it the people on the coast have become more far left?
It's the people on the coast and the people who vote in primaries across the country. That's the problem. You saw it actually in. It's very clear in the Republican Party. Marjorie Taylor Greene quit because she couldn't see how she could get past a primary if Donald Trump opposed her. And right now, the problem is that Democrats who might normally be, if they had their druthers, might be sort of center-left, feel like they have to move very far left in order to appease the people who will actually vote in the primary. They won't get to the general election. And where I found the most instructive case was the new senator from Michigan. Michigan is a state that's very much up in the air. It could go either way. And she won as a center-left candidate. She worked at the CIA, but she ran as a center-left candidate. But she was one of the people who put in her 2 cents on disobeying orders if they were illegal. in the military. Of course, the military pledges initially that they will only obey legal orders. So the idea was a kind of dog whistle about insurrection. But the fact that you had congressmen not just from like Connecticut and California and that sort of thing, but that you have someone from Michigan who's a senator, not representing a small district that's far left, doing that indicates to me that the weight of the party has really moved in that direction. We have a similar candidate who could actually win in Tennessee, of all places, win in Nashville, but that's because of who votes in the primaries, not who votes in the general election.
Yeah, it's Mom Donnie showed you exactly who shows up to those primaries. Charles, always great catching up with you. I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving, my friend.
Well, I really appreciate it, and a happy holidays to your entire audience.
That is Charles Lipson, Professor Emeritus at the University of Chicago. You can catch him in The Spectator, Real Clear Politics, and you can find all his columns at charleslipson.com. I would suggest you go. Some great stuff from Professor Charles Lipson. When we come back, it's the holiday time. We've got some serious, we're trying to have some fun as well. We're talking Christmas music later. I have a question for everybody here. All right. And we're going to get everyone's thoughts on something that was just opened 4 hours ago. And I want to know if anyone thinks is worth my money or if I'm an idiot for even considering it. We'll talk about that and much more. It's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got a stall reported. Now, this one is westbound 70 at Grand. Watch for that in the right lane. And there was a stall reported, too, on westbound 255 on the ramp to Koch Road, but it looks like it's off on the side. Now we've got that accident westbound 70 past Florissant Road. They had one reported also near Lucas and Hunt. So just some slow-moving traffic in the Jennings Station Road area. 64, a little bit of volume, especially at Hampton. And out west, it's gotten better. A little slow westbound 70 between Highway A and Wentzville. 64 is Lake St. Louis Boulevard on out, and that, of course, is in the construction zone. Southbound 270, moderate volume at 44 and at 21. Southbound 55. That's a slow go, mainly headed down toward Bates. And if you're headed into Illinois, we look great on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Give something that means something. Roll up your sleeve at the Odyssey Blood Drive in partnership with the American Red Cross, December 16th through the 19th at multiple locations. Make an appointment in the Red Cross Blood Donor app or at redcrossblood.org. Enter sponsor code Odyssey for a drive near you.
This year, do Christmas shopping at a discount and locally. This is Ryan Wiggins inviting you to Second Generation Distribution in Roxana, Illinois. It's a family-owned wholesale store full of treasures, and the inventory is constantly changing. Stocking stuffers, presents, gift cards, candies, chips, snacks, and my favorite Little Debbie products, all at discounts up to 75% off the food, too. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, 301 South Old Edwardsville Road in Roxana, Illinois, or shop them online. Second Generation Distribution for Christmas.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well,
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. Final segment of the first hour. Just getting started here on 97.1 FM Talk. So today, the local football team, the Buffalo Bills here in Buffalo, opened up the pre-sale. If you want to buy your seats as season ticket holders, want to buy your seats when they tear down the stadium. And I love the idea. Now, I have bleacher seats, but, it's bleacher seats that have a back, right? And I've had these seats for about 4 years. I've had season tickets at the stadium for 16 seasons, okay? So they went on pre-sale today. And, of course, as soon as that happened, I was in a commercial break, and so I logged in to look at the price. $519 if I want, now again, it's just a slab of the bleacher. If I want my 2 seats with the backs, and I'm honestly considering it. Now, that's a lot of, to put it in perspective, when I started with season tickets, $519 was more than what one ticket cost in that section. I sit in the nosebleeds. I'm way up top. $519 is more than what the season ticket cost per seat. But you have it. I don't know if my wife would allow me to do this. This is another issue we have here. But you have the seat. You have the the legs. You can put it into the ground. I don't know. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for considering this, or should I just let it go? I'm wondering.
I don't know if you're crazy for considering it.
Would you go through?
I'm back. What happened?
I'm sorry, Sue. So the Bills, the stadium's getting torn down at the end of this year. And today the pre-sale opened up for the seats. And okay. I want my season ticket seats. I think it would be really cool to keep. I don't know where I'd put them. I don't know where my wife would allow me to put them. But it's $519 for both seats.
Oh, my. Well, now that, obviously I don't know what a regular, but what were they before?
So I paid for the season. I was saying when I first got these seats in 2010, $519 is more than what I was paying per seat for a full season. So yeah. And I haven't even asked my wife yet. I'm sure this won't go over well at home, but it's like, there's a lot of sentimental value there. I watched a lot of bad football in those seats.
Man, I bet you did. You know what? It might be worth it, but obviously you have to talk to her, but man, the first season in the new stadium, that's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. And if you guys, I got my personal seat license, it was a few months ago. I was filling in for Mark that day because I remember coming and explaining to you guys we walked through
PSL,
walking through the suite, and they try to sell you on the most expensive. But I've been top of the stadium guy my whole life, and believe me, I'm not stopping anytime soon. But that's going to be really exciting, and even preseason games, which I usually just sell. I'm excited. I'm excited for the first Kids Day to bring my son into the new stadium. It's going to be cool because, when I was in college, I thought I was watching the final few seasons of the Bills in Buffalo, and the fact that they're now building a new stadium, that's going to be awesome. And isn't that enough, or do I need the $500 seats in my living room?
You know what? Wait a minute. That's what you're actually talking about is the physical seat?
The physical. Oh, yes.
You don't need that? Ugh. No. I am with her in advance.
I'm talking about my physical seat. When they tear down the stadium, they're selling everything, and I get first dibs.
People think, "Ooh, that's so great." They bring, and I'm sure there are a ton of Cardinals fans who have that from the old Busch Stadium, and I think that's great if you've got a particular space for it, the basement where, like Fred has a room that's all dedicated to sports stuff. Okay, but not in the general house. I think eventually that wears off, and you think, "What am I doing with this now?" But that's just my opinion.
I don't have that room. I don't, my what would be my memorabilia room is my son's playroom. And what I would want to do if I got him is put him into the ground right in front of the TV and watch the games.
Good luck to you.
So I actually have an old seat back from the old arena in Buffalo. I paid $0 for that because I broke into the stadium, the arena, my freshman year of college when the place had been sitting empty for 12 years. And, just ripped a seat back off and ran out.
Well, that's a whole nother issue. This is not, I don't know, $500. Nope. But that's me. I'm not a clutter person.
I think you're right, because I think what you said is 100%. It'll turn into a thing that's just sitting in the corner of the basement, and if $500 are in the corner of the garage, and if $500 is sitting in the corner of the garage, I will start getting mad at myself in a few years. I think it's just something I have to let go.
Yeah, it's just like the what do you call it? The treadmill. Eventually, it holds laundry, and that's it.
I know someone who just last year got a treadmill, and it's already holding laundry in their basement.
Yep, that's what happens.
Sue, I think you talked me out of it. I think I actually feel really good about just saying, you know what, that was a time and place, and now I'm excited to go across the street and let this one be a parking lot.
Exactly.
I think we're ready to go. Ready to go. When we come back, we're checking on winter weather. That's right. Dave Murray, 97.1 Chief Meteorologist, will be here. And then Sue's News, and it's all after the news on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, on the roads tonight, I expect a little bit of volume out west as people head out of town, but it's really not bad. Now, 6440 is slow. It's Kings Highway out to Big Bend. We've got an accident reported there. Westbound 70, some moderate volume, Jennings Station Road. It's mostly slow, Lake St. Louis Boulevard out through 70. Now, looks like 6440 out west is really just slow from about, we'll call it Lake St. Louis Boulevard as well, out through 70. Southbound 270, some moderate volume at 21. 55, a little bit slow at Bates. And we look great if you're headed into Illinois on any of the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Underdog Fantasy, and fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back. And Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action in Missouri. And it's that time again, and it's Feast Week back on Underdog from November 26th through the 30th. Check your app daily for special promos. Playing on Underdog, super easy. You just choose whether your players are going to go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. If you get your entries right, and you can play with as little as $1, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And it is a lot of fun. Don't forget, Feast Week is back. That means you check the app daily. So get started. Download that app today. Use the promo code MARKR. That scores you $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, the promo code is MARKR. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. It's a lot of fun. Get started today. Underdog Fantasy.
Hey, Stewie, I need some cash. I need money. Who doesn't need money? What can you do for me?
You know, Annie, this is a question people ask all the time. Now, pay attention because this is important. Don't get a home equity line of credit. A home equity line of credit is a credit card in your house. It's typically not a fixed rate, so it's an adjustable. You pay interest only. And there's a short-term opportunity to take the money out, and then later on, it turns into a loan that's a really high interest rate. Cash out refinance. That's the most important thing. Refinance your entire mortgage. Get the best rate that's out there. Give yourself the opportunity opportunity to refinance later when the rates drop. A cash out refinance is a little bit higher of a rate than a rate and term refinance. Do the cash out now, set yourself up for the future, and get the best deal out there. Just do me one favor. Don't tell my wife about this because she's going to want all the cash in the world to buy a new car.
Well, if you want to know more, Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information or call my friend Stewie, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Dad, that's what Grandpa Rip always said.
That's right. 50 years ago, Grandpa started Grasser, and whenever a customer called, he'd smile and say, "Hey, it's good to see you."
Hey, it's good to see you.
It was his way of treating people like neighbors, not numbers. That's why we still say it today.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Our programs and services include rides to care, a place to stay closer to treatment, or access to information and day-to-day guidance, all for free. To see how we can help you, visit cancer.org today.
Visit 971talk.com/events and enjoy Trans-Siberian Orchestra, a Christmas tradition at Enterprise Center December 23rd. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Visit 971talk.com. KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. Guard members shot in D.C. I'm Lisa Brady.
Two of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition.
FBI Director Kash Patel moments ago at a briefing on the shooting. It happened just a few hours ago near a subway stop, blocks from the White House. It's described as a targeted attack, and a suspect is in custody. The D.C. police chief just telling reporters.
How the suspect was apprehended, as I said, the suspect came around the corner. He immediately started firing a firearm at the two National Guard members. So at that time, there were other National Guard members that were in the area. They heard the gunfire. They actually were able to intervene and to kind of hold down the suspect after he had been shot on the ground until law enforcement got there within moments.
The suspect is also hospitalized. The West Virginia governor has said both injured soldiers are with his state's National Guard. Initially posting both had died, but again, they are now said to be in critical condition. President Trump deployed Guard members from multiple states to D.C. as part of a federal crackdown on crime. Wisconsin Republican Congressman and retired Navy SEAL Derek Van Orden just telling Fox.
I was in D.C. myself a few weeks ago. It's safer. Memphis is safer. St. Louis is becoming safer.
He says political rhetoric about the deployment gets more attention than the success of the mission. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth just announcing more troops will be sent to D.C.
President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve.
The president has been briefed on the shooting, posting earlier, God bless the military and law enforcement personnel. He is in Florida for Thanksgiving. America is listening to Fox News.
Picture this, you're on a date, and then bad breath happens. Confidence gone. Here's the truth. Most gums and mints are just bad breath Band-Aids, but not Zellman's Minty Mouth. The functional breath freshener you swallow. Tiny dual-action capsules with mint on the outside, parsley seed oil inside, clinically tested to fight the toughest offenders, even garlic and onions. It's only available online. Go to Zellmans.com, Zelmins, Zellmans.com, code FRESH for 15% off.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
A fair amount of sunshine this afternoon, but it is windy and it is cold. 46 for the high, but it feels colder. Tonight, partly cloudy, keeping it cold. Lighter winds, 29. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, plenty of sunshine, breezy and cold, 42. And Friday, partly sunny, 41. Unsettled weather late Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday with a mix of rain and sloppy wet snow. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hello, welcome. Second hour of the Mark Reardon Show being hosted by Joe Beamer today on this Thanksgiving Eve. You'll get best ofs the next 2 days as everyone enjoys time with friends and family. Much deserved time off for everyone here at 97.1 FM Talk. We've got a little weather on the way, which is really funny because I literally just did a 3-hour show in Buffalo talking about weather. Our major bridge downtown, we call it the Skyway, is already closed because of the wind. And to talk about St. Louis's weather, Dave Murray, 97.1 Chief Meteorologist. Dave, happy Thanksgiving.
You too. The weather never sleeps, and either do the meteorologists. So we just keep plowing through. No such thing as a holiday in this business.
That's why we're so fortunate, Dave, to have you. Now, before we get to the day that's circled for weather, what's Thanksgiving going to look like here in St. Louis?
A great day. Great day tomorrow. Now, it's cold, 42 degrees, so a good 10, 12 degrees below average, but lots of sunshine. Not quite as windy as today, but still a little bit breezy as we go through the day on Thursday. But overall, it's a great day. Thursday night is fine. Friday is fine, though cold, 39 degrees. Now, the system that we're watching is still out in the Pacific. It has not come onshore to the Pacific Northwest. That's where it will be coming in. So we're not getting any, other than satellite views, we're not getting any ground truth on this storm as far as all the weather elements. We're not getting upper air data yet, but that will probably happen tomorrow morning. And then the other key is it's got to get over the Rockies. It's got to reform in the Texas Panhandle. So there's 2 stages that we really need to look at, and we won't know real details until that thing gets over the Rockies and forms in the Texas Panhandle and then starts to move to the northeast. However, what it's all shaping up to be right now is it does look like some sloppy, wet snow developing late Friday night. I think Friday evening is fine in the area. However, let's say probably after 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, may even wait a little bit longer because timing, there's a lot of timing issues here. Borderline temperatures, 32 degrees. I think the best chance of some accumulating snow is going to be Saturday morning, that window from, let's say, 5 a.m. up until noontime. Then we will, during the entire event, we're basically above freezing, and 39 will do it for the high on Saturday. So it becomes a mix of rain and snow as we go through the afternoon. That'll be a slow turnover. Now, the key temperature in this particular system, I think, is going to be about 35 degrees. So 35 and below, we should get snow. 35 and above, it should start to become that mix. It's all out of the picture come Saturday evening, and Sunday is just kind of a cloudy and cold day. So it's a relatively quick hit. There should certainly be some accumulation on the grassy surfaces, trees, parked cars, things like that Saturday morning. Road temperatures will be above freezing. The key here is, it's a big travel weekend. If you're headed north, and let's say north from about Springfield, Illinois, all the way up through Chicago and into the Great Lakes, there's going to be a pretty good snowfall out of this thing, probably 6 or more inches. That's not for the St. Louis area, but folks who are traveling north know that. Folks who are traveling south, it's going to be more in the form of rain. So we're, as always in St. Louis, we're right on that edge of a rain-snow mix. And it's a pretty good system, I think, that will get developing in the Texas Panhandle and rapidly move our way. So it's not around very long. It will be our first snow of the season, and there will be what I like to call hamster-sized snowflakes late Friday night and into Saturday morning. Big, giant, sloppy, wet snowflakes that all kind of gather around each other.
Dave, oh my gosh. First of all, I wondered if they were hamsters. Okay.
Wait a minute. What are you doing even working?
Thank you. I want to point that out that Dave Murray is right. There is no traffic today. Dave, here's what happened. I got shipped my bulbs to plant, from the place where you get them online, and they sent them late. So I just got them yesterday, and I've been cooking today, so I haven't gone out to plant them. Am I too late? Because when you're talking about snow, I'm like, can I not plant these? What's the scene?
Yeah, you're not going to, unless, the ground. You'd actually be able to plant tomorrow and Friday.
Okay.
Because it's dry, and they don't care if it snows or not. But you could probably get them into the ground. After that, I think you're going to have a stretch. Let's say Sunday through Wednesday, maybe Thursday, where the ground will be a little hard. It's not going to freeze solid. I mean, the very top layer will be frozen because there is a pretty good cold air mass coming in. But overall, I think, if you've got time tomorrow or Friday, and Sue, we give you all the time in the world to do that.
Well, thank you, Dave. All right. Man, I can't, but I didn't order them till the last minute because we have deer in the new yard. And then I had to figure out, and I asked my friend, and I said, tulips? She said, nope, they think they're candy. I said daffodils, and she said, yes, they don't like them. So that's what I ordered, but I didn't do it till the last second.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I think you'll be okay. Obviously tomorrow's a busy day for most folks. But, if you have time Friday, unless you ordered like 500 of them.
Only 35, but I'll just
you'll be able to do that.
Okay.
You'll be able to do that.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, and so this snow will come, be pretty, and then disappear.
Yes. Okay. Now, if we get... And again, it's too early for numbers. It's too early for exact tracks. But if we were to get, as far as the roads, I think that will go away very quickly. But if we get a little bit that accumulates on the grassy surfaces, that has the potential to be around for a couple of days. Because next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're talking highs in the 20s and lows in the teens. So that's not going to go anywhere. But the sun will do a job on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. It's better than Buffalo, I assume.
That's true. Lake effect. It's all lake effect snows right now, and this system will be cutting across the Great Lakes. So, I lived in Buffalo for.
Thanks, Dave.
When I was growing up, and I'm talking like 5 years old, kind of thing.
Wow.
We lived in Buffalo for about 8 months, and that was the 8 months of winter. And I remember. We have this. I don't know where they are, but there are pictures. Now, granted, I was 5 years old, so I was small, but I remember tunneling out of the front door.
Dang!
Out.
No, thank you.
It's funny. You guys are talking about a couple inches, and here we are. We have a storm system that's going to dump about 10 or 20 inches on the south towns, and I'm wondering, do I wear the heavier socks for the turkey trot?
No. Oh, it's all relative. It's all relative when it comes to weather. People in Chicago, people in Detroit, people in Buffalo are thinking we're talking maybe a little accumulation and say, yeah, so what?
I mean, I'm telling you guys, they know it up in Chicago that those lakes, they play tricks on you.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and especially this time of year because the water temperature is warmer than the air temperature, and that's how we get the lake effect snows.
That's right. Hey, I guess we have to pay for the very nice summer we had.
Well, there's always payback when it comes to weather.
There is. And Dave, you are the man keeping us updated. Really appreciate it. Hope you get to enjoy some Thanksgiving while you're tracking this precipitation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What I'm trying this year, I'm going to stuff the turkey with a pineapple. I'm going to give that a try.
What?
Wow.
Google it. It's a thing
all right.
All of a sudden.
All right. Report back, please.
Yes, please do.
I will.
That's Dave Murray. He's the 97.1 chief meteorologist. He's also trying trends on Thanksgiving. I can't wait to hear how this is going to go. A pineapple in the turkey?
That is ridiculous.
Hey, you got to try new things. this is a story for later in the show, but I'll tell you about how trying new things worked out great one year when you're put on the spot, and then when you try it like a year later, it's not as good. But we'll get to that later on. When we come back, we have Sue's News. It is 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Not bad on the roads. Westbound 70, a little slow at the inner belt and at Wentzville. 6440 lining up Hampton out through the inner belt and a little bit out west as well. But if you're headed into Illinois, we look great on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Leave it to my friends at Zero Res to come up with a great Black Friday offer for you. How about 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $119, and you can take $75 off air duct cleaning. Don't let the holidays sneak up on you. What they do is patented. It's a cleaning technology that will lift out the toughest stains without soap and without residue, so your home stays cleaner longer. And if you're not ready for the holidays, don't do it yourself. Call Zero Res because you know it's safe and effective. They can zero resify just about any surface in your house. They also have a 4.9 rating on Google with over 5,900 reviews. Don't miss this offer. Call Zero Res right now, 314-474-2020. Tell them you want the 97.1 Black Friday special. That's 314-474-2020. Or go online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it. Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mary Claire Haver, a board-certified OBGYN and menopause specialist. My new podcast, Unpaused, is the place for bold, unfiltered conversations about what it really takes for women to thrive in the second half of life. Every week, I sit down with medical experts, cultural icons, and powerhouse women to talk about what really matters. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Listen to and follow Unpaused with me, Dr. Mary Claire Haver, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Bold conversations, no apologies. The Mark Reardon Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
These allegations are deeply concerning.
Does the president have any comment?
We're not going to comment.
It's not clear messaging.
No.
And now, Sue's News, presented by U.S. Men's Medical Center.
Well, it's National Cake Day, which can't be bad. And I prefer a white cake. I like wedding cake the best, the really good wedding cake with that certain kind of icing. Oh, Joe Beamer, what's your cake?
I don't get me wrong. I love a good chocolate cake. I think the Frosty makes cake more than anything. I don't remember my wedding cake. I assume it was good.
Yeah, well, that's all right. But, in general, it's white. And you know exactly what I mean, right? Do you like a yellow cake or a chocolate? What is yours?
I like a cheesecake. Does that not count, though? Are we talking?
No, I'm talking about a cake, Joe.
I like a white cake, like a birthday cake.
Yes.
And I like the corner piece of the birthday cake.
That's fine, because I like the middle.
Oh.
So we will get along well. That is perfect. Oh, I love a white cake. And I just don't get it often enough, mainly because I'm not eating sugar. But if I were, that sounds delicious. It's also National Jukebox Day, which, okay, fine. Now, on this day in history, it was 103 years ago, in 1922, that King Tut's tomb was entered by American archaeologist Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon of England. Now, King Tut, as you recall, became pharaoh at age 9. He passed away when he was 19, but that was such a huge deal, and it was 103 years ago today.
Wow. That was right around, 1922. 22.
Uh-huh.
And it was an American and
an Englishman.
An Englishman.
Lord Carnarvon. And it was such a huge deal. And I just remember, obviously I was not here in 1922, but I remember, I mean, for Steve Martin to write a song about it eventually, it shows just what a big deal it was. Then 46 years ago, now this I took from Joe Sonderman's book, This Day in St. Louis History, but we find this nugget for tomorrow. In 1979, the Blanchette Bridge opened. Now, they built one in 1958, and it was too small. Now, this, Joe, is a bridge that carries you out from the St. Louis County out to St. Charles County. So they built a bridge. It was too small, so they built a second one. So today, eastbound is on one bridge, westbound is on the other. And this is tomorrow is actually the day in 1979 when they opened the one to eastbound traffic. And they named it after Louis Blanchette. He's the one who founded the first trading post that eventually became St. Charles 46 years ago.
And they call it the Blanchette Bridge or the Blanchette Bridges?
Bridge. They just call it one. I don't know why. That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
But it does have one in each direction. And 33 years ago today, in 1992, the British government announced that Queen Elizabeth had volunteered to start paying taxes on her personal income. And she made her kids get off the dole, too. That was in 1992. I don't remember that at all.
Can I just say, like, if I lived in England, I'd be upset that the royal family still gets money. Like, they don't do anything.
Yeah, right. And what is her income exactly? From,
right.
I guess, appearances, maybe? I mean, I don't, whatever.
I can imagine that this would be like an election point. If that was America, every election, you'd have a candidate that vows to cut off the royal family.
Right. Well, and I'm not anti-royal. I mean, it's okay. But the fact that they weren't paying taxes on that for that many years is kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, for sure.
So good for her for doing it.
I'll tell you, I bring up the royal family in Buffalo. You've got our Canadian listeners. They're still all tuned in with they're still their king and queen. So
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. You can't be too harsh on the royals because the Canadians still take that as bad mouth and they'll turn the channel.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow, are you a Macy's Day Thanksgiving Day parade watcher? Now that you have a child.
My wife will watch it with my son. I'll be too busy dodging the 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts and running the turkey trot.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I never really got into I'm not a parade guy. Like, I'll take my son to parades so he can catch candy.
Right.
I've just never been a parade guy.
Well, it's tomorrow. It's the 99th annual. There's a total of 34 balloons. They're going to do a Beagle Scout, Snoopy, Bluey. They're going to have all this crazy stuff. They'll have 28 floats, including Sesame Street Camp Snoopy. They're going to have a Stranger Things float, which I find to be interesting. I mean, it'll probably be disgusting, but I may tune in just to see that. But it airs at 8:30. If this is a tradition with your family, it does air at 8:30 in all time zones. How is that? I guess we just delay it. And there'll be an encore at 2 because it's that great. The entire program is 3.5 hours long. You could watch it on NBC, Peacock, and Fubo, if that is your deal.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be at the house to watch it live, and I'll be watching football when I get home.
I understand. Well, they say that tomorrow, according to a new survey, 52% of Americans will have at least one recipe on their Thanksgiving table that is 25 years or older. 23% of Thanksgiving tables will serve at least 10 sides. Good gravy. I am not doing that much. I'll tell you that. And the sports betting site Action Network looked at a bunch of popular Thanksgiving sides and the odds that they'll end up on the typical Thanksgiving plate. We bet on everything in this country. Okay, it's not the odds that each side will be offered. It's the odds of finding them on someone's plate. And that odd is lower because not all of us like the same stuff. All right, the number one thing that will be on people's plates in the betting world, what would it be?
Turkey.
You would think this is sides. Sides only.
Oh, stuffing. Stuffing, obviously.
Stuffing is number 2. It's at 36%. Number 1, mashed potatoes. If I had my bell, I would ring that. Oh, I love me a mac. Now, you know what has come up in the last couple of years is mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And I'm not a mac and cheese person at Thanksgiving, but that's number 3. Cranberry sauce at 4, sweet potato casserole at 5, green bean casserole
there it is.
At 6. I would have thought those would be reversed, but I guess not. Gravy is 7, baked potato. What? That's at 8. I didn't even know you were allowed to do that. 9 is butternut squash, and 10 are Brussels sprouts. I like a Brussels sprout. Yeah. But it makes the house smell like feet, and I'm not really in the mood for that. Now, go ahead.
I like Brussels sprouts with a little bacon mixed in.
Oh, yeah, and if you put a little bit of vinegar on there, put them in the oven and get a nice browning on it. Oh, it's nothing better. Oh, yum. Okay, AMC, the movie theaters, are selling AMC popcorn passes beginning on Cyber Monday, which provides half off a large popcorn every day of the week, plus 1 refill per day that's free. And it's priced at $29.99 per year. So if you are a movie person, you might want to look into that on Cyber Monday. I like movie theater popcorn enough to maybe just get that. Yum.
Can I go in and get a popcorn even if I'm not seeing a movie?
That's what I mean. Can we drop by and just get? Probably not. That's how they get
the studio in Buffalo. We're right across from the AMC here, so that would be great on the way into the studio every day.
Yeah, you could totally do that. New in theaters coming up this weekend will be Zootopia 2. Mark Reardon saw it and really liked it. And Eternity. TV this holiday weekend, well, the premiere of Stranger Things is tonight at 7. That's our time, Joe. I think it's 8 on yours on Netflix.
Yep.
Tonight's Volume 1 consists of the first 4 episodes. Volume 2 airs on Christmas Day and New Year's Eve.
Wow.
So if you are... Reardon and I have talked about this. We think it pretty well. They just dragged out the last season too long. Yep. And I think it jumped the shark a bit. And now the kids are like 35. It's a little weird. But I understand wanting to watch it and get it wrapped up. So if that's your thing, are you a Stranger Things person?
Yeah, I won't be watching the Sabres play when they release it tonight. But yeah, I'll fit it into the schedule over the next month. But I agree. I mean, it's just too long between seasons. And it's great. I mean, don't get me wrong, but like you said, I can't not see the age difference in the real people that doesn't correlate with the storyline.
Yeah, exactly. And then Thursday, so tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central is the National Dog Show, which I do love to watch. And also we could go over the Thanksgiving Day football. First, it's the Lions and the Pack at noon our time, Central, on Fox. Then it's the Cowboys and the Chiefs at 3:30 Central on CBS. And then the Ravens and the Bengals at 7:15 Central on NBC, if that is part of your plans. They also are doing Friday at 2 p.m. on Amazon. They're going to do the delayed Thursday night football game. It'll be the Eagles and the Bears.
So happy the Bills aren't playing it. Like that I have to plan a holiday around the Bills. I every year I sweat it out to make sure.
I understand. They announced today, by the way, that they're going to, Diane Keaton's 1987 comedy Baby Boom is getting a modern re-imaging. So they're going to have somebody redo it. We'll see how that goes. I kind of liked it, but it seemed kind of the time, so I'll see how they do. And I'm wondering if they did it just because they're riding the wave of Diane Keaton right now. I don't know. And there's no report of when it'll be out.
Yeah, they might miss the wave if it takes too long.
If they wait any longer. Okay, I think this is my happy story of the day. The two strangers in Arizona who are spending their 10th Thanksgiving together because the 68-year-old woman thought she was texting her grandson in 2016, but accidentally texted a random guy named Jamal Hinton, who was 17 at the time, and they have been eating Thanksgiving together ever since. It's so cute. It's their 10th year. Here's a little sound that goes with it.
I was sending a text to my grandsons, inviting them for Thanksgiving, and I didn't know at the time that one of my grandsons had changed his phone number.
It's like having a mentor in a way, a mentor, best friend, a grandma, like all in one bucket. I call, Wanda picks up. So I just hope that we are there as long as we can be for each other, having each other's back through the path of life.
I just think that is so cute. So this is their 10th year together.
It's such a heartwarming story.
Isn't it? Okay,
yeah,
and finally,
I love it.
In Sue's news, not that we're eating wild turkeys, but here's the random fact for today. An adult wild turkey has approximately 5,000 to 6,000 feathers. And that's it for Sue's news.
Wow. Back after this.
I'm Dan Loney with Your Money Now. Dell Technology shares are up almost 6% today following upbeat guidance driven by strong AI sales expectations. In Q4 alone, the company expects to beat projections with sales of $31.5 billion. Kohl's is carrying yesterday's momentum over to today's session. It added another 7.5% in trading today after a whopping 43% jump yesterday on much better earnings numbers and a narrower than expected same-store sales decline. California Representative Eric Swalwell has filed suit in district court. He's alleged that FHFA Director Bill Pulte abused his authority to make fanciful mortgage fraud allegations against him and others, including Fed Governor Lisa Cook. The markets with a strong performance today. The Dow Industrial Average up 314 points at 47,427. The Nasdaq adding 189. The S&P 500 up 46. That's Your Money Now.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Window specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation or the website bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Time is 4:32. This time's check sponsored by Gary Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Built on backbone, not buzzwords. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, it is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. Great to be with you on this Thanksgiving Eve, and hope your travels, wherever your travels may take you. Maybe you're staying home and people are traveling to you. That's always nice. Whatever it is you are doing, hopefully you're having a great Thanksgiving. And if you had to work today like us, hopefully it was an easy day. I saw the, I love a good meme, and it was the Seinfeld where George is sleeping under his desk, and it says at the top, all of us who decided not to take our PTO the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It's George Costanza sleeping under his desk in Seinfeld. And not that, hey, I would never mail it in. I don't mail it in. But I've worked jobs that aren't radio where, the day before Thanksgiving, let's just say you're not giving it 100%, right? But here, obviously, we're giving it 100% because we love what we do. And if we didn't give it 50, if we didn't give it 100%, I mean, you'd be able to tell. Now, tomorrow, as I keep talking about the turkey trot, I am so excited for the YMCA turkey trot. It's the 130th up here in Western New York. And, we're going to have some wind. We're going to have a snow-rain mixture. And I've been lucky. So this will be my 9th year running it. I've run it 8 years in a row, including COVID, but it was virtual during COVID. But I've run it 8 years in a row. This will be the 9th. And this will be the first time that it'll be like, and you're going to say, what, Joe, you live in Buffalo? But I'm being honest. This is going to be the first time, the 9th year, where weather is actually going to be a factor. Yes, it's usually cold on Thanksgiving in Buffalo, New York. But this will be the first year that there is precipitation possibly falling as we run. The wind's going to be a big factor. There's been snow on the ground in other years, but the slush ice mix with, we put salt on the roads when they're icy, all that, just, the person in front of you kicking that up as they run. So it's going to be, I'm telling you, I'm earning those extra calories, and we are, like I said, I'm excited. Can't wait. And it's the start. Sue was bringing up the Macy's parade, Thanksgiving Day parade. I mean, for a lot of people, that's the start. They wake up, they have a hot chocolate, or maybe since it's Thanksgiving, they get a breakfast adult beverage, mimosa. I know some people like Bloody Marys. I can't do the tomato sauce and the vodka. I've tried it once. No thanks. But however you're starting your Thanksgiving, we all have those traditions to kick off the day, to kick off the holiday season. And again, hopefully whatever it is you have planned, you've got it and it will go well and you'll enjoy the holiday. Now, earlier today on my show in Buffalo, I was talking about the do's and don'ts of Thanksgiving. And it does seem that there is always someone who wants to bring up politics, right, at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Now, I will say I am not that person. I talk politics every day, 6 days a week. So for me, I like to get away. And I know there are people who will be at my at dinner who don't agree with me. And like, I don't need to talk about it. You know where I stand. I mean, if anyone, where I stand. I talk 3 hours a day, 6 days a week. So where I stand. But there are people, and again, maybe it's because I come from one side of the aisle, but I do notice it from people on the other side that I'm on of the aisle. They love to just say something, and they try to get you going. And like for me, it's Thanksgiving. There's a lot we can talk about, especially for me, are the Bills wasting Josh Allen? That should be in Western New York. That should be the topic of discussion, right? In St. Louis, are the Blues ever going to win again? Can they win a 1-goal game? What are the Cardinals doing? Are they going to rebuild and actually be successful in 2 or 3 years? Or is this rebuild going to fall flat and, we're in for a decade of hurt? Now, doesn't that sound like something that everyone can kind of get along with while they're watching, as Sue said, the Lions and the Packers, or the Chiefs and the the Cowboys? I'm in hockey mode. The Ravens and the Bengals. And by the way, NBC got very lucky that the AFC North is awful and that the Ravens started winning. Because could you imagine if the Ravens continued to be awful and you had the 3-8 Bengals and like the 3-8 Ravens on Thanksgiving night? They got super lucky that the Ravens started winning and the Steelers started losing, and the Ravens are in first place. I always think that when I look at these games that can't get flexed, like you take a risk Like I remember one year where the Cowboys were awful. They were playing the Dolphins and they were awful. And it's like, well, you took that risk. And now at 4:00, the Thanksgiving game, and this is like in the 90s. Now, if you're CBS, if you're NBC, Sue, you brought it up. Everyone in America, we bet on everything. We put odds on everything. So even if it's two awful teams, you're going to have fantasy football nerds like me watching it and following their fantasy team. You're going to have people who bet on the game still watching it. So I guess it's not as much of a risk as it was in like 95. But still, I mean, when you can't flex out that night game on Thanksgiving, I'm sure the NBC executives are happy that the Ravens found their way.
That's right.
I'm hoping the Ravens keep finding their way because they're going to have to beat the Patriots for the Bills to have a chance to get back into first place in the division. So obviously, I'm looking a little further down the road, but I'm hoping the Ravens continue to win until the playoffs, and then they can lose. Hey, Sue, you talked about yesterday, getting everything ready. How far along are you? What actually has to take place on Thanksgiving for dinner?
All right, here's the deal. The turkey I have brining in the oven. I've got the cranberry orange bread made. I've got the stuffing made. I'll have to reheat that tomorrow. I've got somebody bringing crescent rolls. I've got somebody bringing green beans. So I will put the turkey in tomorrow at 9:30, take it out at 12:30, and we will eat at 1. But I'll have to peel potatoes tomorrow morning and put all the peel in the trash as we discussed, or put them slowly down the disposal, one at a time. And then I should be good. I'll do a pie that's coming out of the oven in about 4 minutes.
Now,
and then I'm ready.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Of all the stuff that you're putting on the table, do you make or serve anything that you particularly don't like, but the majority of people coming over will? Or, do you have to like it to cook it?
That's actually a good question. I think I pretty much do have to like it to cook it, but I pretty much like everything about Thanksgiving. Now, if somebody wanted mac and cheese, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We had a caller on my earlier show call in and talk about 2 dishes that she has to make every year because it's a family tradition that she doesn't like. And I was like you. I said, I don't know if I could sit there and cook something that I'm not going to enjoy. Part of what I like about cooking is I can lick the spoon every now and then. Like I don't know if I could go through with that knowing that I'm not going to eat any of it. But maybe I'm a little too selfish. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's all pretty appealing at this time of year. You know what I mean? Yeah. If liver was the thing we served on Thanksgiving, I would not host. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What do you think about the rise of ham?
I don't like ham. That's the end.
Me either. Yeah, me either. I can't believe that there are people who are actually replacing turkey with ham. I say those people they got to the grocery store and turkey was out. So they're now saying, hey, look at this new thing I tried.
And that could be, my father-in-law loves the ham. I just don't. I like the bacon. I like the rest of I just am not a ham person. I'd rather have turkey on Easter as well. So I guess it's just a matter of taste.
Yeah. Growing up, we had the turkey on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then my parents would have ham. Speaking of, Dave was talking about pineapple and turkey. They'd have the pineapple on the ham, obviously, on Easter Sunday. But you're talking about trying things. Dave was talking about the pineapple and the turkey. Sometimes you try something and it's amazing. One year growing up, Christmas Day, the oven broke. And now when my parents moved into the house they live in now, which we moved to Buffalo in 99, it had all 70 still. It was the pull-out stove, the classic oven. So everything, slowly had to be replaced. And the oven died on Christmas morning. So my dad decided to take the turkey and grill it. And
interesting.
It was amazing, like the best turkey we've ever had. But Sue, here's the thing. That was in a forced situation. The next year, they have a brand new oven. But hey, that grilled turkey tasted so good. Didn't he burn the turkey?
Oh, no.
So it was great in the situation, but trying to reforce that, it didn't work out. And then for years, my parents fried the turkey, and I loved a fried turkey.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
so good. Here's the problem. My sister and I, we had moved out. We're home for the holidays from college, and no one wanted to clean the oil out of the turkey fryer. So my parents go, well, we're not going to leave all the mess to us. So they went back to cooking the well, I think now my mom actually pre-orders a cooked turkey, picks it up tomorrow morning. So even easier.
That's not so bad. A lot of people do that too.
Yeah. I mean, if it was up to me to host, I think I could make the sides. I think I could make a good stuffing. The turkey is going to have to get picked up. I don't trust myself with all the specifics you have to do. It's
really not that hard. Do not intimidate yourself. I've got a great recipe. If it ever comes to it, you let me know. It really isn't that hard, you guys. It's just think of it like a big roast chicken.
It's putting the hand up the turkey and taking all the stuff out that really.
It's 3 seconds and it's in a bag.
It's the reason I don't fish.
All right.
But all right. I mean, hey, Sue, I'm sure, as I get older, as my son gets older, we're going to want to do more things in the house, especially with the Bill Stadium seats that I'm not getting now. But
yes, good.
But here, going back to something yesterday, if I start hosting, like we said, the Christmas tree can't go up till Black Friday.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay. It's okay. And I know you could just put it somewhere in the house. It just doesn't happen to be in view of everybody in the dining room. And you can do what you want. It's America.
We have 3 Christmas trees at the house right now. My wife set up a Grinch tree in my son's playroom.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's all Grinch theme. We had a Fisher-Price tree, but my son doesn't really play with it, so I think my wife was looking to sell that to someone who would use it. And then we have obviously the main Christmas tree downstairs. So we're Christmased up. We got the elf on the shelf. He's moving around the house, keeping an eye on Dawson to make sure he's a good boy. Because I said that not only will Santa not bring you toys, Santa will take your toys if you continue to act up.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Yeah, so. That's but I'm excited. I'm excited for tomorrow. I love the and you brought this up yesterday, Sue. That you walk into someone's house and you can just smell all the delicious food. It smells like Thanksgiving. I don't know how else to put it. It smells like Thanksgiving.
It does, and it's just so comforting and delicious. Ah, yum.
I got one question before we go to break. Ethan got to Minnesota safely. We've got confirmation.
No, I don't have confirmation, but I assume that that's the case.
All right.
I don't have confirmation otherwise.
I was thinking about, him driving in the last part in the snow and just, I'm sure he got there safe, but I know it was a long night. I mean, I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night, Sue. I can't imagine that was not even halfway through his drive.
I get it. I really do.
I kept thinking, I was like, I am exhausted, and I did nothing today. And you got poor Ethan. He's on the road and probably, about to drive into a snowstorm. He's got hours left in front of him. Well, it's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. We'll be back after this on this Thanksgiving Eve on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Not a bad commute. If you're just headed out, westbound 70 looks great. Eastbound 70, a little slow at 270. Westbound 6440 slowing at Hampton through McCausland. And again from, looks like Prospect now out through 70. But other than that, we look great. If you're headed into Illinois, things look great on the bridges downtown. Light volume out there in general. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Most people spend decades saving for retirement, but few ever learn how to turn those savings into lasting income. And guess what? That is the entire thing that you need to do in retirement. And that's where financial and tax architects come in. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And their idea is, we'll put on a class called Retirement Planning 101, and it will show you how to avoid the hidden tax traps in your IRA or your 401k. And it's just a one-night, 2.5-hour, no-cost educational event, but seats fill up fast. So go to one of these classes. See what financial and tax architects are all about. And if you don't want them to sit down with you and come up with a plan specified to your needs and your income for retirement, then you'll have a written plan in place and you could sleep at night. So just call 314-888-5101, 314-888-5101. Start there, go to a class, and start feeling better about the whole thing.
Get ready for the 38th annual Guns N' Hoses. It's St. Louis's biggest charity boxing event supporting the Backstoppers. Hear it right here the night before Thanksgiving. Coverage starts at 6:30. Guns N' Hoses live on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Check out Michael's Flooring Outlet because and I experienced great service from Mike and his team last year with a project that we did in my home, but nothing against, as I say, the big box stores. You're not going to get someone who has decades of flooring experience to make recommendations, to say, hey, maybe you don't want to pull out all the carpeting in your basement because you have a great audio system. He may have said that to me at some point. So they're going to get you into the product that's right for your lifestyle. If you have pets, if you have kids, if you need Mohawk silky soft carpeting, they have the best quality. If you need hard flooring from Mohawk or other companies, they can guide you into whatever you might need for your budget and for your lifestyle. And they do it with a great team with 3 awesome locations. They're open every day except for Sunday. So 6 days a week in Old Town St. Peter's, great location in Darden Prairie, in West County on Olive. And the website has everything. You can even order samples from the website. IGotFloor.com. Michael's Flooring Outlet. Tell them that I sent you in.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Jason Smith is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Jason Smith at 202-225-4404 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
You're listening to The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
And welcome back. It's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. And, you know, some people say I'm crazy. I've been listening to Christmas music since Halloween. But a lot of people, they'll tune in. They'll start listening tomorrow, the people who haven't already gotten in the spirit. Trish GAZALL is from 102.5 KEZK. Enjoys this now. Trish, happy Thanksgiving.
Joe, Sue, happy Thanksgiving. How are you?
Doing all right. Can't complain. Now, you guys have been playing Christmas music since when?
Well, we just started, I think it was November 14th, but you're not alone, Joe. It's so funny. It's mid-October. I'll start getting emails like, when are you playing Christmas music? They want it when they want it. And you better believe when Mariah says it's Christmas time on October 31st at midnight, everybody wants it November 1st. But the funny thing is, then you start playing it and then everybody's writing, why are you playing Christmas music? It's like every single year you can't win. So yes, we're here whenever they would like to dip in.
That is 100% accurate.
I know. It's crazy.
Trish, obviously there's the favorites. You mentioned Mariah Carey. You guys play that once every 30 minutes?
Pretty much. You got it.
Is that still the most popular Christmas song? Like the one that the listeners say, I want to hear it. Does that still get the Christmas spirit the highest in 2025?
Yeah, you know what's funny about that song is when it first came out, it never hit the charts. It didn't hit the top 100 or Hot 100 charts until 2017. And ever since then, this year is the earliest All I Want for Christmas has hit the charts because people just start listening to it earlier and earlier. So I don't care what they say, if they're sick of it or not, the charts prove otherwise. People like it.
It's one of those songs that starts playing and you sing along. Even if you've been bad-mouthing it for 10 months, you're going to start singing along once it comes on. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and it's just becoming more popular and popular as the years goes on. Mariah Carey's now doing a Vegas residency this year. She's doing Mariah Carey's Christmas time in Vegas. So, her and this music and her whole Christmas time vibe, it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Trish, let me ask you, of the newer songs, what's a popular newer Christmas song that, might not be on anyone's radar yet?
Well, Ed Sheeran, Elton John did one last year that was pretty big, but everybody's coming out with Christmas albums now. Christina Aguilera is kind of making a comeback. She has a movie coming in theaters. It's Christina Aguilera in Paris, but it's a Christmas, movie and album. So everybody's doing it. I know Jonas Brothers are the Jonas Brothers, but I really like their Like It's Christmas. That is a really catchy, and they had a movie just come out on Disney Plus, A Very Jonas Christmas. So everybody is leaning into it because it's a moneymaker.
Now, when I was a kid, the NSYNC Home for Christmas album was, that was in everybody's car. Everyone knew it. Are any of those songs? I run the turkey trot listening to that album from front to back, and if I finish it before the album's over, that was a good day. Does that?
We're on the radio, right? And you're admitting this.
I admitted. I think my first time filling in for Mark, I admitted I've been to 12 Backstreet Boys concerts. So believe me, it's
gosh,
yeah.
Sue knows.
Oh yeah.
Is the the late 90s, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays? Does that still get in the rotation? Do people still ask for that?
Not as much. We really do. We play the classics. We play Frank and Tony Bennett and Burl Ives and Thurl Ravenscroft. The only time of year I get to say those two names. But we play those classics. And then, we have the Brenda Lees and then Taylor Swift. And we do have the more current ones. But for some reason, I feel like we're missing that the 90s just dropped out.
Yeah, it does. And I think there's probably a good reason for that.
Yeah right.
You guys are probably right. Trish, I got to ask you this question. Be honest. I'm being honest. Is there a song that you cringe when you have to play it?
Well, Christmas Shoes. I'm sorry.
Oh, right there with you, Trish. Right there with you.
It's like really, I don't want to hear that ever again. And Grandma got run over by a reindeer. That is the biggest earworm ever in the history of the world.
I don't disagree. My final question, because there's been debate about this. I always play this song on Christmas Eve at the end of my show in Buffalo. Dan Fogelberg, Same Old Lang Syne. Is that a Christmas song?
Let me tell you about that song real quick. That is a true story, and the woman he met at the convenience store on Christmas Eve is from St. Louis and lives in St. Louis.
That's right.
Her husband contacted me, her current husband contacted me a couple years ago to tell me that story. It's true. And so, yes, play it.
That's
love
amazing.
That. Wait, I didn't know you heard from him. That is awesome.
Yes, he emails me every Christmas. I haven't heard from him yet this Christmas, but every time I play it, he's like, we're listening. She doesn't do a lot of interviews about it or talk about it a lot, but it is a true story, and she is right here in our city.
Love it.
That's amazing, and I love that song. Well, Trish, thank you so much for taking some time out of your Thanksgiving Eve, and we'll be listening to you over on 102.5.
We'll try to get that in sync on for you, Joe.
Oh, I appreciate that. That would mean so much. Thank you. Trish GAZALL from 102.5 KEZK. They're playing the Christmas music right now. We're back after this.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Okay, on the roads, it's been a really nice commute, and that continues to be the case. It's super windy, but that's the worst of it. Westbound 70 looks great out of downtown. A little slow at Wentzville. 64, some moderate volume right there at Clayton Skinker. Eastbound is slowing at Big Bend, and that's it. 270 looks good. 55 is in good shape, and no delays on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then, we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 39 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
One of the biggest gifts you can give your family is peace of mind. That's why I trust and recommend Civia Law. They've helped so many families, including mine, right here in our community with estate planning, wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and elder law issues. I've seen how stressful it can be when a loved one passes without a plan. Families are left confused, sometimes tied up in probate court, and it can cost so much in time and money. But with Civia Law, you don't have to worry about that. They'll walk you through everything and even deliver your completed documents in just 2 weeks from your first appointment. And here's something special just for you. Mention the Annie Fry Show, and the first 10 listeners right now will get a free strategy session. That's a $300 value. 833-995-WILL. Just be sure to mention the Annie Fry Show when you call. Civia Law has 7 convenient locations across Illinois and Missouri, including in Edwardsville, Swansea, and Creve Coeur. Secure your legacy and protect the people you love. Call 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL, or visit civialaw.com.
Doesn't it feel like you hear all the time from retired friends and family, I wish someone had told me this before I retired? Or why didn't anybody tell me this? Why is this not a class? Well, that's exactly why Financial and Tax Architects was founded. FTA keeps hardworking families in St. Louis make sense of retirement. They show them how to keep more of what they've earned and how to make it last. That way you can get some sleep at night. You don't have to second guess every expense leading up to retirement. You understand what's going on. Their Retirement Planning 101 class is a practical, no-cost course. They teach it at local colleges. It's just one night. You learn strategies to reduce taxes, plan your income, make confident decisions about Social Security and taxes and inflation. And FTA focuses on education. They try to change the way you retire. Call 888-5101 or go to fta-ria.com to register.
Give something that means something. Roll up your sleeve at the Odyssey Blood Drive in partnership with the American Red Cross, December 16th through the 19th at multiple locations. Make an appointment in the Red Cross Blood Donor app or at redcrossblood.org. Enter sponsor code Odyssey for a drive near you.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. An ambush in D.C. I'm Lisa Brady. That's how police are describing an attack on 2 West Virginia National Guard members deployed in the nation's capital. They were shot just blocks from the White House this afternoon.
It appears, like I said, to be a lone gunman that raised a firearm and ambushed these members of the National Guard, and he was quickly taken into custody by other National Guard members and law enforcement members.
Metro D.C. Police Executive Assistant Chief Jeffrey Carroll says the 2 Guard members are in critical condition. FBI Director Kash Patel asking for prayers.
They are here serving our country. They are here protecting everyday Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day, and their families and the sacrifice they have made.
The suspect is also hospitalized. National Guard troops from 7 states plus D.C. are deployed in the capital as part of the president's federal crime crackdown. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says at President Trump's request, he's asking the Army Secretary for 500 additional Guard troops in D.C.
The increase in safety and security has been historic, but if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down. President Trump will never back down. That's why the American people elected him.
Hegseth saying in that video post, the shooting only strengthens resolve. The president's in Florida, where he's been briefed on the shooting and posted about it earlier, calling the suspect an animal who would pay a steep price and commending all military and law enforcement personnel. Vice President J.D. Vance offering prayers for those Guard troops and all who wear the uniform.
Thank them for what they're doing. We're grateful to them, and we're praying that they're going to be safe and they're going to spend Thanksgiving with their families. God bless them.
This during a visit to Fort Campbell on the Kentucky-Tennessee line, where the Second Lady and their 3 children helped serve a pre-Thanksgiving meal to the troops. America is listening to Fox News.
Picture this, you're on a date, and then bad breath happens. Confidence gone. Here's the truth. Most gums and mints are just bad breath Band-Aids, but not Zellman's Minty Mouth. The functional breath freshener you swallow. Tiny dual-action capsules with mint on the outside, parsley seed oil inside, clinically tested to fight the toughest offenders, even garlic and onions. It's only available online. Go to Zellmans.com, Zellmins, Zellmans.com, code FRESH for 15% off.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
A fair amount of sunshine this afternoon, but it is windy and it is cold. 46 for the high, but it feels colder. Tonight, partly cloudy, keeping it cold. Lighter winds, 29. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, plenty of sunshine, breezy and cold, 42. And Friday, partly sunny, 41. Unsettled weather late Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday with a mix of rain and sloppy wet snow. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Final hour on this Thanksgiving Eve. And we welcome in 97.1 legal analyst and partner with Harris, Young, and Kayser, Brad Young. Brad, long time no talk.
Joe, it's always good to talk to you, my friend.
Always great to talk with you, especially on this Thanksgiving Eve. Brad, let's start in the court. Well, I guess out of the courtroom. The James Comey case dismissed. I think this took a lot of people by surprise. How did we get to dismissal, and where do we go from here?
Well, in all honesty, it didn't take me by surprise. In fact, I talked about it right here on the Mark Reardon Show back in October. And this is why. There's a federal statute. It's called 28 U.S.C. 546, and it governs the appointment of interim U.S. attorneys when a vacancy arises. And we had a vacancy here regarding the indictment of Comey. And what happened was that the initial U.S. attorney, resigned. Then there was an appointment of Eric Seibert. He was then appointed. Under this statute, Joe, the president the attorney general only gets one pick for an interim for 120 days. After that one pick and after 120 days, then the district court is empowered to pick the interim U.S. attorney until a permanent U.S. attorney is approved by the U.S. Senate. I know this sounds complicated, but it's very clear in this statute. So when Pam Bondi appointed Eric Seibert, that was the U.S. attorney. That was their only U.S. attorney interim pick that they got. And then when he resigned, because he was never approved by the Senate, when he resigned, then the subsequent U.S. attorney, Lindsey Halligan, that was an invalid appointment under the statute. So anything that Lindsey Halligan did would be invalid, including seeking an indictment against Comey. It would be invalid because it violated 28 U.S.C. 546. I know it's a hyper-technical reason, but it was very clear. It was very obvious. I talked about it again right here on the Mark Reardon Show back in October, and I'm very sorry that the Trump administration didn't do a better job because Comey, he lied. There was specific evidence that he lied to Congress, but now that the statute of limitations has expired on that, he's going to go scot-free. So he is not innocent of this crime. The indictment may have been dismissed, but hear me, he is not innocent.
So you answered my question, what comes next for James Comey? What about the Letitia James case?
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same situation related to the appointment of Lindsey Halligan, and so that's also gone. So there's a theory here. I'm not going to go. It'd take me a long time to discuss the theory. There is a theory by which these indictments could survive what's called, there's a tolling of the statute when it comes to an indictment that's dismissed. And there's a technical theory here that if the Trump administration goes through the proper channels, gets a U.S. attorney in there that's approved by the Senate, then these indictments could be reissued. But frankly, and again, I'm going to tell you now, and I call it like I see it. I'm the legal umpire here, Joe, and I don't think that would survive a challenge on appeal because of the way this whole appointment process has been, I think, bungled by the Trump administration. Listen, it was very easy. All he had to do was appoint a U.S. attorney and get that U.S. attorney approved by the Senate. But because that didn't happen, now you've got these ramifications of that dropping of the ball.
No, hey Brad, you say it. I know it to be true. So who misstepped here? The president misstepped, or did he get poor legal advice when it comes to?
It's not. Yeah, it's not up to the president, Joe, to know the ins and outs of 28 USC 546. Okay, that's not his job. He's the leader of the free world. But listen, the government has fantastic attorneys up there. Somebody should have figured this out. I figured it out, and who am I? I mean, I figured this out. It was very obvious, and his staff should have told him that. Pam Bondi's staff should have told her that if she wasn't aware of this statute. I think that if the fault has to fall anywhere, I think it falls on Pam Bondi because she was the one who made the appointment or recommended the appointment, both of Eric Siebert and then subsequently of Lindsey Halligan. And she should have been the one to say, whoa, we've used our one interim. We've got to get somebody jammed through the Senate quickly. And that simply didn't happen.
That's really unfortunate because, like you said, I mean, the case against Comey was clear. The case against Letitia James, obviously something I've talked about a lot in Buffalo, seemed pretty clear. And to think because of the misstep by the Trump administration, these two will continue on. Letitia James will continue on as the Attorney General in New York, for crying out loud.
Yeah, and listen, whenever I hear the left today screaming about lawfare and going after one's political enemies, boy, I think that these folks have a memory that lasts about going back to January, and that's it. Because everything Letitia James did was absolutely lawfare. She was going after a political enemy. For goodness sakes, she ran for office, stating, "If you vote for me, I will go after Trump." That happened here in Missouri, right here in St. Louis, where we had someone run for office on the basis of saying, I will go after this person politically, and that was deemed to be a conflict of interest in Missouri. Of course, there's no conflict of interest in New York, in New York City, when you're going after a Republican, so that didn't happen there. But listen, the left loves lawfare, and to me it's so disingenuous when they call out the current administration for doing what they've been guilty of for decades.
100%. Now, Brad, I've got another thing recently that I want to bring up to you, but I want to ask you this question because you just mentioned lawfare, and we know how Trump was treated 6 months before the election. When Trump serves, is done serving this final term, he'll be out of, the government, back in private life. I mean, do you see Democrats bringing it in his early 80s, bringing more lawfare his way? I mean, it seems like they are so obsessed with them. And what kind of stuff can they whip up like they did before?
Well, I read this week, Joe, that a psychiatrist actually sought approval of the definition of a psychiatric condition called Trump derangement syndrome. And the left went crazy. But it is a real thing. And when you look at this group of primarily the progressive left in this country, I think they will go after him. And he's going to have to be very, very careful after he gets out of office, because I do see the left continuing to go after him. Why? Because it appeals to their base. It appeals to this base that is just, if you mention the word President Trump, they need medication. So I do see that happening. I think that Trump himself was mistaken in Florida when he was keeping documents, not so much the keeping of the documents, because Biden did the exact same thing. What Trump did that was wrong was that he told his legal team to not cooperate with the subpoenas to return documents that were alleged to be in the possession of the archives. So I would certainly caution President Trump here, if he's listening, I would caution him to say, look, don't possess any documents that might be classified after you leave office. And that, to me, I think would be his greatest vulnerability for post-presidency litigation.
Now, these 6 members of Senate who gave said to military for to not follow illegal orders. Is there what is the definition of illegal orders? And for an elected official to say that publicly, to give that directive, I mean, is there any case against them?
Well, let's look at it. There's both the legal situation and the political situation. Political, this is the easiest call anyone can make. It was reprehensible for members of the United States legislature to tell the U.S. Armed Forces with the clear implication of don't do anything that President Trump tells you to do generally, and don't do anything with regard to Venezuela in particular. It was reprehensible that they say that. Let's look at whether this is criminal. I've listened and I've read exactly what was said, and specifically, the United States Code of Military Justice already states that military officials and troops are not supposed to follow illegal orders. The question becomes, what is an illegal order? And that's how I think that these 6 legislators are going to get by legally, because they never specified what those orders were. They hinted, but they never specified. So technically, legally, they were simply informing in a court of law situation, they were simply informing the troops to abide by what's already in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. But we all know what their intent was, and that's where it becomes reprehensible. But I just don't see any of these people being prosecuted for what they said.
Yeah. Brad, final question. Thanksgiving dinner, what's your favorite side?
Well, I got to tell you, I left my office today to go put on a turkey on my pellet grill, because I love to smoke turkeys for Thanksgiving. So that takes about 8 hours to smoke on a pellet grill, and when it comes out tomorrow, it will be truly award-winning. I can assure you of that.
That sounds great, Brad. I'm inviting myself over to your place.
Come on over. I got 30 coming over for Thanksgiving tomorrow. You know what? One more. We won't even notice you. Just come on by.
It sounds great. Brad, always great catching up with you, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. We'll talk soon.
You too, my friend.
That is Brad Young. He is our legal analyst at 97.1, also partner with Harris, Young, and Kayser. When we come back, more countdown to Thanksgiving. And I don't mean to be Mr. Negative or bad news. Like I said, I love this time of year. But I did see a list of things to just be cautious of, because Thanksgiving, we see a 37% rise in heart attacks and risk of heart attacks. And I am going to make sure you know what to keep your eyes on and, again, what to avoid when we come back. It's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Looking good on the roads. Westbound 70 looks great out of downtown. No delays. And 64, a little slow, but it's eastbound right around 170, and then it looks better after Big Bend. If you are southbound on 270, now's the time. No delays. 55 looks good through multiple construction zones. We're quiet through North County. And traffic looks great in both directions on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
It's motorcycle season in St. Louis. Time to ride. When the road gets rough and you're injured in an accident, you need someone who's got your back. You need Kaufman Townsley. We're local, we know St. Louis, and we don't settle unless it's what's best for you. When it's not, we go to trial, and we bring decades of experience with us. Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. Call 314-500-5000. That's 314-500-5000.
Looking for some iced caffeine, left you in the cold. No one knows why brown water costs as much as liquid gold. Told him your name was Brian, why does this cup say Nicole? But then you found paradise in your cup at the Quick Trip. No regrets to start your day.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Mark Reardon, Sue Thomas. This is the Mark Reardon Show.
Hey, welcome back. Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon here on 97.1 FM Talk. Before I get to the Thanksgiving, why heart attacks spike during Thanksgiving, I want to tell you something. You know, politics at the dinner table on Thanksgiving is annoying. We talked about that in the last in a few segments ago. You know what else is annoying? When elected officials allow politics to get in the way of getting information to people. What do I mean? And I don't know. I'm sure there's an example of this all over the country. But I'm going to tell you a situation. And again, I know this is local to me, but I think you guys will see where I'm coming from, and you'll see that it is an issue in politics, especially the people who put their party before their country. And I do think that is a problem in this country over the last few years. I think it was a problem. Again, I mean, look at the way that the 2024 election was handled by the left, right? They got Joe Biden through the primaries, knowing that Joe Biden was losing a step or two. And then they have the disastrous debate that was so early, but, you know, we're not supposed to believe that was planned or anything. And they put Kamala Harris in. They didn't let the members of their party even have a say as to who their candidate was, and she was the candidate running on the message of democracy. Anyway, so here back in Buffalo, we have a county executive in Erie County who does not like the station, doesn't really like me or any of the hosts on the station, and that's fine. I don't need to be everyone's friend. But But he is the county executive. And yeah, we have our opinions and we let our opinions be known. That's what we get paid for. But today he had a press conference on how they're handling the snow and, message for Erie County and all that. Now, we're the number one news talk station in Buffalo. Okay. We were the only station in Buffalo that was 24 hours a day for 3 straight days during the blizzard of 22, where 50 people died. Okay. We were the only ones on nonstop, 24 hours over 3 days, including Christmas Day. We were taking calls. We were trying to help people as much as we can. And we were there. He didn't come on once during those 3 days. We had the governor, Kathy Hochul. You don't think we've been critical of Kathy Hochul? She was on the station. We had the mayor. We had a lot of Democrats on to get the message out because, again, we were the only ones 24 hours throughout the entire storm, right? So 72 hours throughout the entire storm on the air, no nonstop local coverage. And a lot of people lost power. So we were really the only way they could get information. So he doesn't come on during the entire blizzard. Today has a press conference to talk about, getting prepared for a winter storm and doesn't invite the station. Like, this guy is putting his politics. Again, you can disagree with everything we say. Are you saying that our listeners shouldn't have the same advice, the same guidance that all the other stations are getting? Like, I just think this is an example of putting politics over, again, your job is not to support your party as the county executive. Your job is to be the county executive, which he hasn't done a great job of. But again, we see this time and time again and it is, I would say it's more on the left than you see on the right, of politicians putting party first. And again, that's fine when we're talking about everyday things. Not fine. No, let me take that back. It's not fine. But again, okay, whatever. We've gotten used to it. But when you're talking about storm preparedness, or you're talking in the middle of the storm where people are freezing to death in their cars, and because you don't like the opinions of the host, you're not going to call in, you're not going to give them an interview, and now we don't get invited to press conferences, that's petty. And I'm sorry, that is the problem with politics in 2025. And again, you're probably saying, Joe, this is a local story. It's not, because this is something that happens nationwide. And it's something that we saw during the 24 election, that we saw with the indictments of the president when he was the former president at the time. I mean, we're also seeing it, time and time again. We're going to see it heading to the midterms. We have people who are elected who put their party first. And, Brad brought up the TDS. You've got people who put their party first, and they are so obsessed with Trump. Getting Trump is more important than the success of the country. And you see this, we talked about with Curtis yesterday. You see this in some of the coverage of stories. You have media outlets out there that rather make Trump look bad than celebrate, or I don't know, say something good for the country. I go back to the 4 years of Joe Biden. I go back to the 8 years of Obama. I was in college when Obama was elected. Funny story, the day Obama was elected, we drove up and went to the casinos in Canada. But Obama and Biden, I wasn't fans of either, obviously, of their policies. Was not a supporter of either. But my gosh, when Obama came out and announced that bin Laden had been captured and bin Laden was dead, we all celebrated. Remember the crowds in front of the White House? I was here. I was at the radio station in Buffalo writing the board for that press conference. We all celebrated. That was an American success, right? Yes, critical, but again, putting the country first. I didn't like Joe Biden, but my gosh, I still rooted for America. I think Joe Biden, did a lot of things to set this country back, but I was hoping I was wrong. Here in Buffalo, we have a new mayor. I think he's going to be awful, but my gosh, I hope I'm wrong. I don't need Buffalo to sink even worse. But we have so many people who are just obsessed with their political careers, with their political party, and unfortunately on their list, the country is 3 or 4. my gosh, their family might be under party in getting Trump the way some of these people act. And it's petty. And again, and I would be saying this if it was the other way around. Like when it's a time of crisis, when it's a time of having to get a message to your constituents, to the country should come first. But too many people are worried about, the primaries or the next presidential election. And that comes first before the success of America. And I think it's disgusting. I think it's awful. And again, if you're letting your hatred of the president dictate how you cover things, how you treat the country overall, I think you're in the wrong. And again, I think you're putting the country at a bad place. We should all be rooting for, just as the president said about Mamdani. Mamdani and Trump do not agree on a lot. But of course, Trump being a New York guy, and that's why I've always said I don't think Trump will ever let New York City sink to the absolute bottom, because he still has, obviously an interest in New York City. But even he said, the success of Mamdani is the success of New York. It doesn't seem like people think that way anymore. I mean, you have the Democrats that were trying to get Trump before he was even back in office. Again, I mean, you're the ones who put Kamala Harris up. So it's something that, it happened to me 4 hours ago. So it's fresh in my mind. And it is something that just is really upsetting about today's politics. The fact that in moments of crisis, we're going to put party ahead of country. And I just don't think that's the right direction. I don't care what party you are. When we come back, we will get to this Thanksgiving. 37% higher risk of heart attack on Thanksgiving, 15% on Christmas Day, 20% on New Year's Day, and again, 37% at Christmas Eve. We'll give you the list of 8 things to be looking out for and a little bit of advice as we wrap up here. It's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on Thanksgiving Eve on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look good on the roads. Now, MoDOT had just reported a stall. Hold on, let me pull that back up again. Oh, yeah, and they cleared it. It was westbound 44 past 141. It was going to be something. They had the right lane blocked. It's fine. They cleared it. So we are in good shape. The only real volume I see is eastbound 6440, and it's right there at 170 through Big Bend. Westbound looks fine. And 55 is in good shape. If you're headed in from Illinois, we look fine on the bridges downtown. It's a good Thanksgiving Eve. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
AI is becoming more prevalent on social media, and Pinterest is looking to help its users discern what's real from what's fake. Pinterest added new controls that it says empowers users to filter AI-generated content in their feeds, which Pinterest says makes up 57% of online content. Users can refine their recommendations to see as little or as much AI-generated content that they want. I'm Jason Brooks.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Triton Exteriors. Not sure if you've noticed, but the storms seem to be especially bad this spring. If you had James Hardy Smart Siding, you wouldn't have to worry about it. It's not going to be damaged like in the 314-day storm. So we do roofing, siding, gutters, fences, We're always going to be the middle bid. We're never going to cut corners. We're never going to take advantage of you. Call 314-717-1159 or Triton-STL.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
The time is 5:32. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Where common sense rules the mic. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Yes, it is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. 97.1 FM Talk. Final two segments here before Thanksgiving. We're talking heart attacks this segment, but I do since we're getting medical. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to be back in for Mark on December 29th and 30th. So December 29th, December 30th, there will only be one thing on my mind. December 30th for sure. January 2nd, something I was supposed to do 7 years ago, I will be doing at 12:30 January 2nd, and that is getting my first colonoscopy. And my doctor had told me at 30 I was supposed to get it, but you know how you feel when you're at, in your 20s and your first part of your 30s, you feel, oh, nothing's going to get me. I'm fine. I'm healthy. But now, I have a kid and, I've unfortunately watched people die of cancer. Got to take the safe thing. Well, they sent in the email a few weeks ago, the list of, things to get and what you have to do, like 3:00 the day before. And then at 5:00 the day before, be close to a toilet, like all this stuff. And let me tell you, I wasn't worried before, but now after reading over the stuff that I can and can't eat, you have to have clear liquids and you can eat clear Jell-O, and you can't, eat until after the procedure, which of course I picked the dumbest time, 12:30. So I won't be able to eat anything until 3:00 the day, on January 2nd. So this is a warning to anyone who's going to be at the station or listening on the 29th or the 30th. My colonoscopy prep is probably going to come up. I'm just letting you know now. That is going to be top of mind for me because January 2nd will be the day. It'll also mark, at 37 years old, it will mark the first time I've ever been put under. Now, I've passed out. I've had a concussion. I've fainted, but I've never been, put out for a procedure. So a lot of firsts to kick off 2026. And just giving you that warning now that these things will be discussed when I'm back in for Mark the 29th and the 30th. I hope I don't, Friday get an email. Joe, we're reconsidering after hearing what you plan on mentioning the 29th and the 30th. No, I obviously will keep it on topic, but I'm just saying those things will be, that procedure will be coming up because it's already top of mind and we're still over a month away. So being serious now, tomorrow, it's a great day. It's Thanksgiving, family, friends, all that great stuff. But there is risk involved for some of us. And on Thanksgiving, we see that your risk of heart attacks goes up 37%. That's the same as on Christmas Eve, 20% on New Year's, 15% on Christmas Day. Also, more cardiac deaths occur on December 25th than any other day of the year, followed by the 26th and January 1st. Okay, so the 8 causes of increased heart attack risks. Number 1 and 2, I think, are pretty obvious, right? Number 1, rich, salty foods. As someone who has had high blood pressure since I was 19, I know, you got to keep the sodium down. I drink tons of water. Obviously, I'll be running tomorrow before dinner. Not that changes the salty food on the table, but I know, hey, you can't have too much. You don't want to become a statistic. So rich, salty foods, obviously classic holiday dishes, high in sodium, that retains fluid. Also, Thanksgiving dinner, the average Thanksgiving dinner, and I know I'll be part of this stat tomorrow, the average Thanksgiving dinner exceeds 5,000 calories. And again, it's a holiday. President Trump said yesterday, it's Thanksgiving. No one's starting a diet tomorrow. Enjoy, again, within reason, and have these in mind. But we're going to enjoy. We're going to enjoy Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, and kicking off the holiday season. Number 2, alcohol consumption. Obviously, this plays into it as well. It's number 2 on the list. Number 3, physical overload. Overindulging doesn't just stress your digestive system. It can overstimulate your central nervous system and promote rapid, irregular heart rhythms. Excessive salt intake can lead to high blood pressure, fluid retention. Combined with the physical overload, can increase your risk of cardiac events. Now, this one, I think, should be number 1 on the list. It's delayed medical care. And I've been guilty of this. Delayed medical care, you're at Thanksgiving dinner, you've got the family all around, and you start feeling different, right? You feel like something's wrong, but you don't want to be the buzzkill of the party. And, you got to get that mindset out of your head. Now, I've been guilty, not when it comes to a cardiac event, but I've been guilty of not wanting to be the person to ruin things. When I was a junior in college, I helped set up graduation, and because I was on student government, and I was not feeling good. I had not eaten for like 3 days. I was really under the weather, but I didn't want to, say no. So I drove myself there, and, I was there for maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, and all of a sudden I just fainted. I mean, I hadn't eaten. I was really sick, and I just fainted. And again, because I didn't want to be the buzzkill, I didn't want to be the person to say no. Now I've caused a bigger problem because now someone has to get me home because I can't drive my car. I just fainted. I just passed out. So delayed medical care, if you're not feeling yourself, if you're feeling different, don't worry about being the buzzkill of the party. Say, hey, you got to take me somewhere. I'm not feeling right. Something's off, because delayed medical care is one of the biggest factors that lead to severe cardiac events during the holidays because, again, people don't seek care. And they'll say, I'll be fine, when they're not. Number 5, emotional stress. Many people experience heightened anxiety from family obligations, financial pressures, and travel. The stress response triggers adrenaline release, which increases heart rate and blood pressure. Enough said. Cold weather. For much of the country, and you heard Dave Murray earlier, Thanksgiving brings the first real cold. Cold weather constricts blood vessels, raises blood pressure, increasing heart strain. Also, snow shoveling. And it's something that, unfortunately, we've had to report in Buffalo a lot. People go out, they go, I got this. I've been shoveling for decades, and they didn't have it. Again, so don't put that extra strain and don't go above. Don't be guilty of physical overload, physical overload. Have a neighbor, call someone. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. Disrupted routines and respiratory illness. So again, just have fun tomorrow. I don't want to be, I don't mean to be negative, but I think this is a nice PSA to throw out there. If you're like me, you have high blood pressure. Number 1, make sure you take your medication tomorrow. And I will take mine right after the run. I don't take my blood pressure medication before I run, because it does it would slow me down. But I'll take it after my run. So that's number one. Make sure that if you're on high blood pressure medication, you take your blood pressure medication. You should be taking it every day. But that's a good start for that. And again, yeah, the food's delicious, but maybe you don't need 3 helpings of the highest sodium thing on the table, right? You know, I love turkey. I'll probably get 2 platefuls of turkey, but I'll probably only have 1 serving of something that's a little more salty. And I probably won't put gravy on my other helpings of turkey. You know, that's just, like I said, we've had high blood pressure since I was 19. I kind of know what to have and what, you know, makes my heart beat out of my chest. Right. For me, it's now with a wedding ring. If I can't move my wedding ring like that, like such, right now I can slip it right off my finger. When my blood pressure gets high, I can feel like it's stuck on my finger. Like I can't get my ring off. Maybe I won't be getting thirds of the highest sodium thing on the table. So again, just giving you some good advice and making sure that everyone has a safe Thanksgiving, because we want you back here, obviously, on Monday with the crew. So, again, enjoy. No one's saying don't enjoy. I've got jeans that have the elastic waistband. Those will be on. Those are for one day a year. Those are for Thanksgiving. But again, like I said, I'll be wise about what kind of salty foods I have and don't have a second. And obviously also alcohol intake. I know it's today and tomorrow are big drinking days, but again, just make sure that you're keeping everything in check and keeping your eye on things like blood pressure. And if you feel like something's off, don't hesitate to get help. That is one of the main things that lead to a major cardiac event around the holidays, delayed response. Make sure you tell someone, make sure you get somewhere. And you know, this idea of, I don't want to be the buzzkill of the party. What do you think is the worst buzzkill? If you don't do anything? So again, be healthy. Don't be like me. Don't wait 7 years to get a colonoscopy. Okay. I'm finally getting it, but I was supposed to get it when I turned 30. I turned 37 in September and I still have a month to go. So just keep that in mind. We'll wrap things up when we come back. Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, it's a great day to be on the roads. Not a lot happening out there. It's quiet through North County. There was a little bit of volume westbound 70 at 370, and then things opened up. 6440 looks great westbound. Little moderate volume Prospect out through the 70 split, and that's it. 55's in good shape. 44 looks good. We're quiet through North County. And if you're headed into Illinois or from Illinois, we look great on the bridges downtown and on the Illinois side in general. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Get ready for the 38th annual Guns N' Hoses. It's St. Louis's biggest charity boxing event supporting the Backstoppers. Hear it right here the night before Thanksgiving. Coverage starts at 6:30. Guns N' Hoses live on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It is the pre-winter window event at Banner Construction. I'd love for you to take advantage. They specialize in really good quality products like Pella replacement windows. And Pella is celebrating. I think this is awesome because there's a lot of history. We're on the cusp of the 250th anniversary of the country. Well, Pella Windows has been in business for 100 years. They started way back in 1925, and their reputation absolutely, exceeds any kind of expectations that you might have. And that's the same thing with Banner Construction. And you can schedule a free consultation right now, and it's always great if you tell them you heard about it here on 97.1 FM Talk. If you are looking for new energy-efficient windows, they got you covered. Pella are great windows and doors. If you're looking for new siding that can really change the entire look and feel of your home, James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding, it's among the best. And then you get the best folks here in St. Louis. Been in business since 1993. Banner Construction. 314-569-1050 is the number. The website, bannerconstruction.com. And have a banner day.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you could get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Yes, final segment. Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on this Thanksgiving Eve 2025. Excited. I keep on saying I'm excited for Thanksgiving. I love this time of year, and it's been nice to be able to have a little fun while also covering the all the serious stuff as well. I love the fact that you guys get off Thursday and Friday. You know, as I said, there'll be best ofs on Thursday and Friday here on 97.1 FM Talk. Long weekend. Now, I say that I'm also off Black Friday. It'll be the first time in over 15 years that I do not work on Black Friday because, you know, I was delivering pizzas. They're still open on Black Friday. I went into retail, definitely worked on Black Friday. I was here as a part-time board op, and then I was a fill-in host at WB in Buffalo. I was a fill-in host, so, you know, I would take every shift they gave me. So this is really the first time I'll have I usually only have a one-day weekend as it is because I host a show on Sunday mornings. So this will be my first 3-day weekend in a long time. And I love what I do. Like if I get called in, obviously I'll cut my weekend short. But I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to relax and enjoy a lot of sports. As Ethan and I were talking about yesterday, a lot of great football on tomorrow, great college football on Friday and Saturday, and then obviously a lot of great college basketball. And you've also got some hockey. The Blues play, I believe the Blues play today and then on Friday. Hopefully they can turn things around. They've been losing a lot of one-goal games, as we talked about yesterday. And, I mean, so many of those in overtime and shootouts. And you go, well, they still get a point in the standings. Unfortunately, the teams that they're losing, you know, some of the teams, you're giving points away. Now, I realize somewhere in the Eastern Conference, so in the other divisions, but still, you're giving points away. And so a lot of sports, if you're like me and you're a big sports guy, you've got the parade tomorrow that everyone loves to watch. And the dog show is also on tomorrow. I know that's a big Thanksgiving tradition. You know, for me, it's movies. Now, you're going to find this hard to believe. I used to love going out on Thanksgiving Eve like that. I mean, I had to be out. You know, I'd have friends from high school I hadn't seen in a few months. We'd go out and have a lot of fun. Now I'm like, you know, my wife and I, my son will go to bed. My wife and I will maybe get a glass of wine and put a movie on the TV. And my question is, what is a good movie for Thanksgiving Eve? Obviously, it's got to be after the Sabres game. But what do you got, Sue? Do you have a Thanksgiving movie?
Thinking about it. I guess, you know, we brought it up yesterday, planes, trains, and automobiles. It's not heartwarming. It's kind of heartwarming, but it's also kind of, you know, it's not bad because it's not straight Christmas.
Yeah, I love that movie. I unfortunately, my wife doesn't share my my love for that movie.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, we would just watch a Columbo episode. But
oh my gosh, yes. Oh, 100%. Can you do that? Will she be down with that? I love that idea.
No, she's upset that my son now likes watching Columbo. Like I've gotten my son to ask for Columbo on the TV.
Love it.
She is not a fan of Columbo, unfortunately. I love especially the original Columbos, the 71 through 78 NBC Columbos.
So great.
Oh my gosh. Dick Van Dyke's turning 100. And I put out there, I go, he is one of the few remaining living villains from the original 70s Columbo.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Which episode was he in?
He was the one where at the end, he grabs the camera and Columbo goes, were you a witness to what he just did? And you go around and go, what did he do? So Columbo flips the picture and says, this is the evidence, sir. And he goes, I have proof it wasn't me. And he picks out the camera the murderer took the picture of his wife with out of a pile of cameras. And Columbo goes, you'd have no idea that camera was there unless you took the picture.
Dun, dun, dun. Love it. You know what? A Great British Bake Show holiday is also a good choice for tonight.
Oh,
if
all
you
right.
like that sort of thing, which I do.
My wife and I, we watch Home Alone and Home Alone 2 probably 30 times over the next month.
Wow.
So I want tonight to be something that sticks out, like something we haven't watched in a while. Not the Hallmark Bills Christmas movie. Talk about disappointment.
Oh,
that was.
Wait,
Sue,
there was one? It was Bills about that's hilarious.
So last year they did the Chiefs. And this year they did the Bills, and it premiered on Saturday. Now, I was out of town Saturday because I was at the Virginia Tech game. So my wife and I watched it Sunday night. And now you would think, like, hey, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But it was so, and I'm sorry if I can use this word, it was so hacky.
Oh, yeah.
The pregnant sister wanted chicken wings in the morning, and there's not enough hot sauce on these. Like, really? That's what.
Okay, but that's how all these movies are. Okay.
No, and I love these. I love them, but I guess I felt like we were being attacked. Like we're nothing but chicken wings, beef on weck, and the Bills. And it's
I gotcha. Yeah, I can see it.
I picked it apart on Monday. I spent my entire show picking this movie apart.
I can only imagine what the Chiefs one was. I might have to think about trying to find that.
Yeah, I didn't watch that because the Chiefs right now, obviously, that's a sore spot for us in Buffalo. But I will not be. And I mean, my wife and I have purchased Hallmark movies on Amazon, so we have them at our viewing pleasure. And this one will not be in the rotation. I was really, really disappointed.
Wow.
And again, maybe I just was looking too critical at it because it was my hometown. But yeah, it will not be on the docket next Christmas.
That's fair.
Well, Sue, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. It's always fun working with you.
Thank you. You too.
And it sounds like you got a great day planned, and enjoy. And we'll be talking at the end of next month.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All
Joe.
right. Before we get out of here, the audio cut of the day. Do we have the audio cut of the day? And I hate to end.
Playback ready. There it is.
Now, the audio cut of the day.
Audio cut of the day. I was going to end with one. We're going to end with another one. This is J.D. Vance. He is the vice president, and he was handing out food to our troops. Here's what that sounded like.
Thanks, man. Happy Thanksgiving. How you doing? Good. Kids, happy Thanksgiving, man. Where you from? Jackson, Texas. Okay. All right. God bless you, man. Thank you. McMillan, where you from?
Just a beautiful thing. The vice president serving Thanksgiving and holiday meals at Fort Campbell. Love seeing J.D. Vance out there. Like I said, I think he's the next president. We'll see. We got midterms a long time before that. But, heartwarming to see the vice president in just regular clothes serving our American heroes Thanksgiving feast. Hey, to all of you, have a very happy Thanksgiving. I always love filling in for Mark Reardon. I hope you have a great time with friends and family. And be safe, be responsible, but enjoy. Have a lot of fun. And we'll talk really soon. On 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look great on the roads. Eastbound 70 is in good shape, but I guess it's westbound that counts at this hour, and it's great. No delays on 6440 or 44 or 55, and we look good if you are headed into Illinois, and that's on any of the bridges downtown. By the way, if you are headed out the door, it's 37 degrees in the front bush at my house. So you have that. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis conservative.
Hey, let's talk about your bathroom, and maybe you're looking at a remodel. Maybe it's just something simple like converting a tub into a shower. Maybe it's to make a shower space or that bathroom a little safer. Let me guide you into Michael's Baths. They come in 30 to 50% less than the competition. And also, because you're listening here to me or 97.1 FM Talk, you're going to get a free shower door or $500 off your project, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. They have a great, great company. Mike Gower's been running this thing for a couple of decades. His daughter will answer your call. He's got installers that have been with the team for a long time. They deal with great products like Central and Moen. They have 5-star reviews. I mean, what else do you need? And all they do is bathrooms. So get with the team with Mike